So welcome to our next game of Mystara for Wednesday. We're up to session number 122. I might turn the music down a slightly bit in the background. And that is Phase 3, Season 2, Episode 15. You're up to the 5th day of the 5th month of the year 1011. And the music in the background is the battle music from Under a Fell Black Sky. I'm sure it has absolutely no relation to what you're doing tonight. In the story, you are in the process of dealing with the Ashen King. Having had a few setbacks in dealing with him, as well as a couple of wins on your side, you have traced him back to a circle to hell, which you're hoping to deal with this session. And if that succeeds, you expect the halflings to arrive in 10 days' time and cleanse the area of his evil. So, tonight we have online Jeremy.
Yes, good evening all. I'm playing Dimitri Dimitrios, now a noble of Karamitov, having performed great service in his usual humble manner over the years to support the rise and soon to be crowned King of Karamitov. But still, obviously, willing to help out where needed and realising that there's a lot of places help is needed.
Next online today we have is Martin.
Yes. Well, Dimitrios had oversold his qualifications, but that's okay.
That's not possible.
So I'm a half of the Kenzai monk and a wood elf, and what else? Sorry, I've got a lot to process.
It's okay, you're also the champion of the Theodel after pulling their sword from the sheath and having yourself declared champion by mistake.
That's right. That's all.
And I'm sure that
What
doesn't
makes
mean
it being
that
a half in the group all.
It's very much like the pulling the sword from the stone and being declared the King of England. No qualifications needed.
Yes.
Next up today we have is Sean.
I'm playing Genrick, the High Elf Druid, who has a very strange relationship with rats and is still considering arson.
Well, I actually considered you were going to call yourself the High Elf Pyromaniac. Thought that would have been fitting.
Yeah.
Also on today we have Rhiannon.
Hi, I'm playing Hildren, the Genasi Ranger Cleric, who... I don't know what to say today, is running around trying to keep the others all, functioning reasonably well and make sure they return alive.
Returning dead is also an interesting option, but hey.
Well, I am a cleric of Zurchev. I don't think he'd particularly like the undead, so...
He would not, but you could always turn them into a fake creature. I'm sure that would also be interesting.
Yeah, you'd have no problem with that one.
And hey, let's face it, if we died at the moment, I'm sure that the Dread Knight in the fort would be happy to increase his ranks.
Very true.
So he may have a level requirement. Okay, so we may have a couple of others joining us later, depending on how things go. And I have updated a couple of the pictures for the team. Okay, so last session you had managed to defeat what you believed to be the Ashen King. Whether it's true or not remains to be seen. And you found yourself in a room with a open portal to hell. Or at least you think it's hell. Any place that's fiery and smells of brimstone is close enough.
And it was being guarded by demons, so...
Which would make it closer to the Abyss, but...
True,
Hell and
devils,
the Abyss
devils.
are very much similar.
Or... I failed a religion check, so they could have been demons for all I know.
Mm-hmm.
Underworld being.
Those were actually innocent civilians.
Hey, you identified them as horde devils?
Yeah. I don't find
But I
them as
guess...
something.
I guess you could have been lying.
No, he didn't say which metropolis they were innocent civilians from.
True.
I'm sure that will always make things easier. Yes, they were perfectly fine if they had of not been trying to eat you.
Yes.
Well, no, they were perfectly random bystanders from Pandemonium.
In the middle of a subterranean cavern under Fort Keep that is currently being attacked by the Ashen King, who makes undead-ish plague creatures filled with fire.
Oh, so you're saying the tourists?
Yes.
I'm sure nothing would go wrong with that.
Well, okay.
Okay, so
We will take a closer look at this, having apparently vanquished someone, possibly the Ashen King, after they'd attacked through the tourists from Pandemonium. And yes, let's have a closer look around this chamber that we've arrived at.
We also know that the Ashen King wouldn't have died on this plane, and he would have just been returning to the Nine Hells. So there is the possibility that we could go into the Nine Hells and try and take him out, but that seems ill-advised at this point.
especially if you do not have the return home spell.
Yes.
That's right. Okay. I mean, I suppose, yeah, on that sort of, if it was the Ashen King, from what Dimitri knows of fiends from the like the lower plane, can he return easily?
Normally there is either a set number of sacrifices, a set number of time, or a specific task they must complete to return. And
Right.
They don't tend to just bounce back. They tend to take somewhere between a couple of weeks to a year to
Well,
forward.
that's fair. So it's the sort of thing that I can remember in previous, like in earlier editions of D&D, that yes, there were tended to be set number of years or things like that, but I wasn't certain whether that applied in level up or fifth ed, and so yeah, it was more that question of, does Dimitri have any idea as to if it was the Ashen King, and assuming he was now with the assumption that he was at least middle-ranked demon lord of some sort,
The higher
Possibly
rank he
higher,
is, the
but-
longer he would take to return.
Could I roll a
The
religion?
longer it would take. Yep.
And
Could I?
if he's a low ranked one, he may only take a number of days to weeks.
Could I roll a religion check to see if I can figure out what I think it would take?
Okay, give me a check.
Oh. Let's try not to get a natural one this time.
Where's the fun in that?
Religion is intelligence or wisdom?
Memory, more
Normally
intelligence,
intelligence.
intuitive, more wisdom.
So wisdom, I do have proficiency in that, so that would be 25.
Okay, from what you've seen of him and what you've read of the capabilities of creatures like this, you're expecting he'll probably come back at the next full moon.
Cool. Which is when
we worked
we're...
out was about 2-3 weeks away.
As long as
And it's also when we're thinking we might have the halflings to do their thing with the black
when the
flame.
halflings were also looking to conduct their ritual as the height of their power. So,
But we also
yeah,
know
so
it's linked.
but okay.
Oh no, it's
Sorry,
the
go on.
master we know is linked to the full moon, not the Ashen King.
a lot of powers are linked to the full moons.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that kind. But yeah, we know that the black flame relic that the halfling's going to use to help close it all down, close the access, is most efficacious at the full moon. So,
But that gives us some time to plan and prepare.
Though
Yeah,
if you were to
but
say
that-
close
so
the
that's
portal,
actually-
it may delay him for longer because you'd have to re-establish a portal.
yeah, well, that's right. But yeah, so the full moon, as I said, it's about 2 or 3 weeks away. Is that right, through?
It is 10 days away.
Oh, okay. So the halflings are going to arrive at exactly in time, which I guess will fit with the fact that they didn't want to spend any extra time outside of the 5 shires.
And we wouldn't want it to be 2 or 3 weeks away because that's when you're supposed to be at the coronation of King Stefan.
Yeah, that's right. It was one of the things when I say 2 or 3, I was thinking but yes, it was less than 3, but I didn't know exactly. Couldn't remember what it was off the top of my head. So, and then when we were saying the halflings arriving in 10 days, I was thinking, oh yeah, and they're probably going to get here a few days before then, so they've got time to stand up. All good. 10 days, marvelous.
Oh, awesome.
So, yes. In the meantime, then, let's have a good look at this. It's been opened up and take a look and work out best way of closing it down.
Okay.
Would another religion check work for that?
A religion or an arcana would give you
Okay,
assistance.
certainly Dimitri's going with Arcana.
Unfortunately, nature or history won't give you much help.
I rolled exactly the same thing, a 25.
It's good to be consistent.
Yeah, Dimitri got 33 at Arcana.
Okay. Looking at it, it looks more like a spawning pit than a portal in. It looks like a portal out.
So even if we wanted to go through it, it probably wouldn't work.
Okay.
You don't expect it
Dimitri
to be
said you
able
also plan on
to.
going into it anyway. So.
You don't expect to be able to travel through it, but if you stand in it, you may draw the attention of something on the other side.
Which we don't really want to do.
No need for that right now. So what do we need to close this spawning pit?
Do we want to close it completely? Like, if this is likely to be the place that the Ashen King's going to try and come through,
Well,
wouldn't it be...
It may take him a year to re-establish a link, but now that he's got a link here, it's a lot easier for him to come back.
Yeah, and technically, yeah, if there was if we did leave this pit for him in some way, or like big remnant of it type stuff, then again, being a spawning pit rather than an entry in, I'm not certain necessarily that he's going to come out of this pit, but he might come back to the pit to actually make it an easy place to bring more forces through. But yeah, either way, it's better to eliminate this, because then it means that if and when he does come back, probably sometime for a bit longer, then he's
I
less
just wanted
likely
to
to be
make
back in the
sure.
middle of Canberra.
I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't like a good idea to use it as a trap.
If you could put a summoning circle around it, basically a circle of protection pointing inwards around it, then it would technically trap whatever came into and keep it inside the circle.
Don't think I have that capability.
Uh,
I wouldn't even know what spell to use.
So there's a circle of
It's,
protection at 3rd level.
Yeah, magic circle, effectively. So.
But you'd need to be able to have some way of increasing the size to be about 50 feet in diameter.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't think I have anything that would. I've got Glyph of Warding. I do have Magic Circle, but it's only 10 feet. Sorry, that was my daughter.
Okay.
So 10-foot radius.
10-foot radius, so 20 feet diameter. But it only casting time. It only lasts for an hour.
Yeah. But as I say, certainly, it would seem that we could use effectively a magic circle protection type thing. I'm sure that we can create it around is there room within this chamber to actually effectively draw a circle around the pit itself?
There is
On its
enough
current
room.
side.
There is enough room to do so, but it may or may not succeed. You've never really tried.
It's not something I likely have tried. Like, I may have done it around the Fae back home, but it's not something I think I would have used much.
That's right. Demetrius will explain it all for you.
Well, you do know the issues of getting it wrong is basically you only make that mistake once.
Yeah. So basically, it would go. I was just going to say, basically, I just wanted to play out the idea of possibly using it as a choke point or a trap. But if that's not really a possibility, then let's close it.
Well, I mean, it's also the aspect of potentially we could aim to reduce its size and therefore make it harder to get through and easier to protect, but also then leaving it as apparently the weak point that the Ashen King might want to try and return to in that sort of way. So I guess, Demetrius basically running through options or thought processes in his head and working out what's possible and what's best options.
And like for Hildren, it's okay, I'm hunting a creature. What would I normally do? Which is track, which I can't really do because he's in the 9 helms. So bait and trap would probably be the best, would be my instincts.
Yep.
But if this isn't where that would be set up, then that's fine. Particularly as if this was the Ashen King, He was quite easy to take down. But as
You have
Martin...
Dimitri with you.
Yes. Did Dimitri actually do any damage?
He doesn't need to. He's
I
the
got to do it,
advisor.
It's not, I'm just the physics was enough to scare him away, obviously.
Obviously. I just remember the melee attacks being the most effective. So again, that would mean that we'd want to be able to get close. If it was the Ashen King, or even one of the Ashen King lieutenants, it means that to do damage, we need to get close, which again makes me think bait and trap.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like, this portal might not be the best solution. We've got 10 days. We'll think about it.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, okay, like this is, as a player, I'm not certain of the sorts of things, but Dimitri obviously has much better knowledge and understanding.
Yeah.
Dimitri believes
what sort of
that
options have we got for trying to...
Yeah, Dimitri would believe that the portal was opened using the sacrifice of some of the Ashen King's servants.
Yes, and the idea that when you get enough sacrifices again, that certainly potentially can bring it back faster. Which you expect, and that's where, yes, there's still potentially enough people out there suffering the plague, at least for the next 10 days until the halflings can debate their systems. But might be enough to bring him back, and so that's why they say Dimitri's looking at, they're thinking, hang on, yes, are there ways of A, slowing down that return, and B, assuming he was returned through this portal, if enough sacrifices, if enough people suddenly died of the plague and can't do their sacrifices, effectively limiting his power or trapping him in that sort of way. So that's where the idea of particularly shrinking the rift, and thereby making it easier to put a full circle around, or whether it's a case of, well, no, it's either open or closed, there's no reducing the size of it or anything like that. So,
well, you do know you can potentially counter it with holy water, powdered silver, or mithril items. Most of that's fairly easy to get hold of.
yeah, but not necessarily out in the back of beyond of Katamikos.
I mean, could I make holy water? It might take a couple of days, but...
You can. Just requires you to have the powdered silver to use as the ingredient.
I've got 2 vials of holy water, but I don't know how that compares to the task we're meant to be doing.
But, I mean, I'm assuming we need significant quantities of holy water to, like I say, your vial of holy water is great against your individual undead or demon. But I'm suspecting that for the purposes of closing this rift, I expect we're talking significant quantities of holy water.
Though Dimitri, with his really good roll on looking at it, he could close it with 5 vials.
5 vials, okay.
Whereas if he didn't have that insight, it probably would have taken him the equivalent of 2 or 3 gallons of holy water.
So obviously then the information that Dimitri passes on to the rest of the party is the fact that, well, yeah, for something of this size, it would normally take several gallons of holy water to kind of have any impact on it. But I know exactly where it's needed. We can get by with a few pints.
So, what we need, and if we can get hands on powdered silver, I can make more. The other thing I was going to suggest is, we've got some time. I could commune with my god and see if he has any suggestions or any insight into what would be the best possible movements forward. If there's another way of closing it, what we want to do.
Well, I mean, I suppose, what time of day is it right now?
It would be getting close to midday, maybe mid-afternoon, somewhere between midday and mid-afternoon.
And there are
Yeah,
clerics in the
okay.
keep.
What was that, sorry? Yeah,
There
there
are
are clerics in the keep, yeah.
So they might have holy water.
Of course, the Dread Knight might have had something to say about the amount of holy water that got stored in the castle for the lifetime the while he's been hanging around.
True, but it's not. It's worth an ask.
But admittedly, the Dread Knight hasn't necessarily been the one in control.
So basically, we can't really do anything now.
Trellin does have vials of holy water.
What was that, sorry?
Trellin did say he has vials of holy water.
Yes, Trell's got some holy water. Not quite enough, probably, amongst what we've got readily available.
Unless I'd have some somewhere.
Well, it's also sort of thing that how long would Dimitri require to actually close the portal, assuming we had the holy water right now?
If you had the holy water right now, you could probably close it in about an hour, the equivalent of a short rest.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be carrying around holy water with me.
Most clerics would have 1 to 6 vials of holy water. Roll the d6.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the same as the fact that while the undead in the castle might not be all that keen on having holy water hanging around, it wouldn't also surprise me if the clerics who've been roused from their recovered from the plague may have wanted to try and have create a few vials if they didn't have any available from personal protection against their protection.
I just rolled a 5, so I assume Martin's going to tell me I have 5 vials of holy water on me.
You have 5 vials as well as what Trellin has.
Cool. So we have the supplies.
Okay. And can I actually close the portal?
And also, I will say welcome to Elliot joining us.
Oh.
Hi, Elliot.
Evening.
Yep. Woohoo! Sorry, I'm a bit late.
So, okay, did you want to introduce your character?
Yes, I'm playing Dofan, the Elven Warlock, who, by the sounds of it, has no idea what's happening because he's not there.
That's right, you had missed last session.
Yes, yeah, I did.
Okay, they're in the process of closing a rift to the lower planes.
Yeah, I did listen or watch the YouTube from last time around.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously character-wise, I've got no idea what's happening.
Fair enough.
You've woken up in the keep and gone, where's everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, sleeping in doesn't always work.
Well, I'm happy to contribute both my vials of holy water.
Mm-hmm. Certainly, if Dimitri's feeling like we've got the accoutrements here in Medley League Code, and that he doesn't need any more additional equipment that he doesn't have on him, or the party doesn't have on him. Is this to actually close the portal, or is there options to potentially diminish it, or even just temporarily shut it down?
Well, it can be reopened again, yes, and the longer it's left open, the more likely the people in the keep are going to get worse.
Yeah, no, I'd say close it.
And you also notice when Trellin pulls out his vials, they glow with a bright light, unlike most holy water.
Okay.
Is that a good thing?
Well, you did get them from the Hollow World from one of the people there.
Right, and that's just it. Like I said, when he talks about and they're glowing, and when Hildren pulls out hers and they're not glowing, Dimitri will just double check it. Assuming hers doesn't glow.
My holy water doesn't glow?
It does not glow. It has that shimmering silver that you're used to.
Sweet.
Yep.
I would probably say to Trellin, save his. They seem special. We'll use mine, and I can always make more later.
Well, Dimitri will check it with Trellin. How long have you had that for? Where did it come from?
Well, it's in my kit, so I don't know.
His character's had them for 6 years.
Yeah.
Ever since he was a halfling.
Yeah. And so they were happy to be on your person when your body got transformed or recreated amongst the conclave of Immortals.
All his gear got transferred over to the new body.
Yes, that's right. But no. This is Dimitri just confirming with Curlin the idea of that it was actually, yes. But this is not so much holy water, but water that has been not only made holy by random mundane clerics, but also has been in the presence of
a
very high percentage conclave of the Immortals.
It was also a reward for one of the adventures you did in the Hollow World, where you gained a couple of vials from a wellspring in the lands down there.
No, let's save those. Let's use mine. Mine, given some time and some resources, I can make more, or I can get more from the other clerics. Let's just use my 5 and save the special glowing holy water for something a little more intense.
You realise, of course, as a player, I entirely agree with you. And the character Dimitri thinks, actually, I think I'll combine them all and then quietly pop. But that's fine. We will go with the idea of saving the special lunch.
That works. Cool. So I hand over my 5 vials of holy water. Would I have any insight in how to help with the ritual?
You hear the complicated instructions from Dimitri and just go with, well, you'll do what he tells you to do.
Yeah, okay. Dimitri, when you offer to help, Dimitri's quite happy to start explaining to you the intricate requirements in that sort of way.
I think I have my eyes glaze over.
The first thought you have in his instructions is you're glad you're a cleric, because at least being guided by a higher being sounds a lot easier.
Yep.
Well, that's what keeps happening.
Of course I am. I might say a quick prayer over the holy water vials, just for, feel a little more secure about it.
As you do so, give me a religion roll, because sometimes things happen.
16.
Okay, so they do glow faintly for a moment and then fade.
Cool.
So you think your prayer was heard?
Yay. Yeah, I'm more of an instinctual cleric than a learned cleric, so I pray over things and hope something happens. Well, hand over the vials to Dimitri.
And then, yes, so probably after you've stumbled and fumbled the first couple of attempts, you simply shut this to me and say, okay, now, just what?
And so Dimitri guides the rest of you, including Valen, who's currently down there with them, even though he won't be appearing in tonight's episode.
Mhm.
And you, I will give Dimitri another Arcana check to see how well he's able to do the ritual to close the rift.
Can like our assistants give him advantage or
Your assistance allows him to do it.
okay?
Without the other
Yeah,
four
me.
people, he wouldn't have enough to do it.
He
Okay,
could do it by himself, blindfolded.
I'm sure Dimitri.
But yes, 1831.
Okay, so it takes about an hour, and while that's happening, Dauphin, you're up in the keep. You've been told the others were just going out for a scouting mission, following a rat.
Yes, success.
Why am I not surprised?
And no one in the keep really understands why they're following a rat.
Yeah, me neither. But I haven't known them for that long, so who knows what other peculiarities they might have.
And you do have a long conversation with the halfling, talking about various ways of preparing what he says is good food.
Yeah, I'm probably getting more and more uncomfortable with the idea, but couldn't help but ask, with a bit of a head nod of like, would I would normally assume that you don't have anything for undead. However, I also wouldn't be surprised.
He starts off with the bone broth soup.
And there's generally no ill effects.
He's never suffered any.
Well, the undead don't tend to feel very well afterwards.
So what about the non-halflings?
I'm assuming the halfling chef has a fairly high constitution.
Yep.
He goes, well, you should try some and find out. Would you like to be his test subject?
I tend to attempt to learn through others.
So, would you like to enchant someone to have it for you instead? Is that how you learn through others?
Well, I'm not going to say no, but probably not right now.
Unless, of course, you're referring to summoning creatures from beyond.
Oh, that's an option, but it still, I guess, doesn't technically answer how it would affect another humanoid of, human, elf, etc.
Well, he's never had anyone complain about his food.
That's makes sense in more ways than one.
But he does tell you of far away lands where you can basically buy many of the meals he's learned to make from the markets.
Yeah, I guess probably interested more in the faraway lands than the meals, but probably keep chat for a while about those different topics.
Just about every place he describes and talks about is mainly about the food that's there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I expected that.
And after having many hours of this conversation that you can't get away from, you feel the ground rumble beneath you.
That doesn't feel normal, but how is anyone else reacting? How is the non-undead reacting?
People are looking about, trying to figure out what's going on. There's the shout of earthquake. The chef goes, "Oh, I just thought that was my stomach for a moment there."
I would probably try to find someone who looked reasonably like they know what they're doing, just to ask, is this something to be concerned? Is it normal?
Okay, so the first person you come up to is dressed in full plate black armor.
Oh, this is not the Death Knight guy, is he?
It is the Death Knight guy.
Whoops.
He does know what he's doing.
I think I'm probably still a bit scarred from the last encounter, and try to find someone else.
Okay, so you find the commander of the base. What did we call him?
It was a very Roman name. Give me a second.
That's what we're discussing, weren't we?
Was it
Throwing remotes around.
Aurelius?
Aurelius Manius.
Yeah, Aurelius.
So it's Aurelius Manius. You managed to come to Aurelius Manius, and he says he's not sure what's going on. They don't actually have many earthquakes out here. And
I'm fairly sure we told him we were going down to look for a portal.
And he's
Yeah, but
expecting
the point
it's
was
the
that,
fault of Dimitri and his associates.
But also, so when even if we told him we were chasing the rat to look for the entrance, there was no indication at that time that the portal had like the trail of the rat was effectively back under or close to the fort. So, whereas because there was a thought process when we were heading back in here, basically about the time as we saw the bunch of devils guarding the place. We were thinking, well, at least Dimitri was thinking, well, we might have to walk all the way back up the tunnel and all the way back down the river again in order to get to the fort. We might be having a quick ride back to the fort, and then there'll be some nice a cistern that we can easily make available for the fort within the protection.
That's one of the things we were thinking about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it then goes very quiet. The vibrations stop, and there's just noise of the stones of the keep settling.
Dothan doesn't have sending or message or anything?
Nope.
Okay.
What use is that?
Okay.
So I'm assuming we've closed the portal?
Down below,
Well,
you guys...
something happened anyway.
You guys managed to follow Dimitri's instructions, and he was right. He did manage to close the portal. By the time he's finished, he's completely drenched in sweat. It's the most work you've ever seen him do.
I pass him some water from my wet skin or whatever.
Well, it was obviously more the heat of the underplanes themselves rather than being stressed or overtaxed in his capability. So,
I don't think so.
Pat his shoulder, look at him and go, sure, Dimitri.
but yes. So what does the chamber look like now then?
Okay, the chamber now looks like a five-sided star has been burnt into the ground with a very dark patch in the center between all the lines, and piles of bones are in each point of the star. And the star itself looks as if it was made of ash.
Lovely decorations.
And now that all this has started to, all the fog and brimstone has started to fade, you can actually see that it looks as if a tunnel has started to be clawed in the rock, spiraling upwards.
So it looks like they were trying to get into the keep from underneath.
It does.
Okay, so that's convenient. That'll save us time. Doriku has already kind of calculated, okay, exactly where are we compared to where the keep was? We should be approximately underneath it. It might be easier to go straight up rather than back along the tunnel and back out again.
My survival navigation sort of skills mean that I'm fairly solid on my geography and terrain and have like maps in my head. Would I know where we are in relation to the keep?
The actual ritual markings in the ground was directly under the center of the keep. So not the courtyard, the actual keep itself.
Yep. Marvelous. Well, to make sure we talk about the fact that, hey, yep, it's certainly going to be convenient for the keep to be able to have this underground chamber, particularly if we can open up the access to the river easily enough for them. They should be able to find a good shot, and it'll make a good postern gate to exit potential.
Yeah,
but obviously, it will need to be guarded and protected. But
it's a great resource.
See exactly how far they got up how close they actually got to the keep. So.
Genrick, you feel like beast shaping and heading up the spiral claw tunnel?
I believe I don't have any wild shapes left, but I do have like move earth and shape earth and stuff like that. I can probably just continue the tunnel.
Well, I mean, the first thing we'll say, we'll go up the tunnel and just see how big it is, how accessible, what kind of work it would need to turn it into at least an escape route.
It is about 7 feet. It's about 7 feet in diameter. It's sloped enough that you could easily move up it. For most of you, it's difficult terrain. Definitely not for the monk. He just can naturally run up this thing. And
I mean, it's in stone, isn't it?
It is stone.
Would I be
when
okay?
You say difficult terrain, it's like it's uncleaned rubble in the area and things like that. Is that more the problem?
It's not a smooth clawing. So there are grooves.
Okay, yep.
There are loose bits. There are bits like it's not a urban style development.
Well, one of my favorite.
It can be. Go on.
One of my hang on. The wording isn't favored terrain anymore, but one of my familiar terrains is mountains, and I know while I'm not in a mountain would have similar sort of terrain type, wouldn't it?
This is underground.
Damn it! I can't bluff my way through that. Okay.
You were close, but not quite the same.
I mean, I wouldn't worry too much about it because it's not like we're in particular hurry at this stage, so we can pick our way more carefully and go through. But yeah, well, we'll go up the tunnel that's been made and get an estimate of how deep did we go down, and therefore how deep are we when we get to the top of this tunnel.
Okay, so following it all up, you are able to estimate you're probably about 20 feet from the surface when you get to the end of the tunnel. And you've passed many rat tunnels on the way, so it's quite easily for someone like Genrick to wild shape and make his way up if he had it.
Does he still have what was the name of the rat again?
Gregor.
Gregor is still alive.
I do still have one wild shape left. I'll just actually think about what would be useful here.
Well, a rat.
You know that rats can traverse whatever it is, so...
Well, now we need to try and get back up. So when I need something to continue the tunnel?
No. It's probably more the aspect at the moment of all we're really doing is investigating. I mean, sure, from Dimitri's perspective, it'd be nice to go straight back to the keep from here, but he can probably do the walk back the tunnel and then the ride back to the keep.
And Generic could literally stone shape his way into that space.
I worry about stone shaping without letting the commander know.
That's what I'm thinking is the sense that, yes, if you take a look up through the tunnels just to get an idea of exactly how far we've got to go and where it comes out, then we can probably give some information back to the keep commander and say, hey, got the opportunity to provide you additional support, and it'll be actually easier if we can create the tunnel effectively over the next, either the next 10 days. It'll make it easier to provide or ensure that nothing further comes out through that portal before the halflings get here to close it. Because Dimitri doesn't feel like doing the walk every day.
Well, stone shape, I think with either stone shape or move earth, it wouldn't take more than a couple of hours for Genric to tunnel down.
If we know exactly where we're going, yeah.
I was more thinking Genric turns into a rat, heads upstairs, we maintain where we are and guard and rest a bit. And then if Genric gets the permission, remembering we still have the telepathic bond, so he can let us know if he's going to tunnel down to us or if we need to make our way back.
I thought that only had a 30-foot range.
The telepathic bond?
No, that's anywhere on the same plane, isn't it? Didn't we figure that one out?
It's on the same plane from memory, yeah.
Nice.
I think the initial pass have to be within 30 feet of you.
That is correct. You have to be within 30 feet for the initial.
Yeah, right. For the initial casting.
And then as long as they remain on the same plane of existence, they may communicate telepathically, regardless of language. Yeah. And remember, it's May. It's not every thought being broadcast. You have to choose to broadcast it.
Yeah, you have to deliberately do it. Yeah.
Which means you're getting a lot of info dump from Dimitri constantly.
Oh, yeah.
He's always out to educate people.
I feel like growing up where I did and with the younger sister and everything, I think I'm good at compartmentalizing.
All thoughts from Dimitri go straight into file 13.
Yep. So, yeah, I would probably, Hildren would probably suggest Genric wild shape into a rat, go up, make contact with Aurelius. Let him know what we've found and what we think it could be useful for. And then if he lets us know if we want to go for a walk all the way back or if we want to wait for him to find his way to us with Move Earth or Stone Shape.
Stone Shape, the rock that I need. Rock has to be within a 5-foot cube, so I can't use that to make a tunnel.
Technically, you can if you do higher levels of it.
And you could do it again and again and again, couldn't you? If we're only 20 feet down, you could do 4 or 5 feet cubes.
Although that would be a straight drop, but the important thing is just find out exactly, like they say, our calculations put us directly under the central peak.
And you can even create a door for the entryway with stone shape at the same time.
Yeah, the easiest one I'm seeing here would probably be to use Move Earth to make the path and then Stone Shape to make a door.
Maybe some steps as well.
Yeah.
So this tunnel that we've come up, has it been spiralling at all or anything like that?
It has been spiraling.
Right, yeah. So because the star-shaped chamber was effectively directly under the keep as well?
It was.
Yeah. So by the time we've gone up the passageway, you may not be directly under the keep where we are at this point here, but they were lining it up to try and make it end under the keep. But yes, it's also the aspect of Dimitri would say, yeah, well, just if you go up and have a look, find out where you are, find out where we are, and then we'll discuss options.
Okay, so just so you
Dimitri's
know,
not particularly keen on the idea of someone moving Earth directly above him.
move Earth won't work because it will not work on stone.
There you go.
What if I use a different spell to turn it? If I use transmute stone to make it into mud?
Don't really want a landslide coming down on us, but
It
would,
first
but
thing
you
first.
would. But the thing is, you'll be lowering the keep in that space as you're moving Earth, or raising the keep. You're not actually creating a tunnel. Move Earth doesn't create a tunnel. It raises or lowers elevation, and it only lasts while you concentrate for 2 hours.
so stone shape, which lasts, would be your best bet.
Whereas stone shape, for each casting, you can create a tunnel. Or if you cast it at levels higher than 4, for every level above it, you can have an additional target. So you can create a 5-foot tunnel, another 5-foot tunnel on the end of it, another 5-foot tunnel on the end of it, and eventually have a tunnel all the way through.
And how long does it take for one 5-foot tunnel?
If that's the totality of the spell, 1 action. If he's doing it as a 6th-level spell, he can create a 15-foot long tunnel as an action.
So it wouldn't take that long once he's up there and the decision's made for him to get back down to us.
That is correct.
Seems like the most viable plan.
Yeah. Either way, let's just find out where we are, and if Dimitri's not real keen on being under this construction.
Well, again, like, could I?
He's quite happy to walk out, and we'll talk about it from the bottom, ensure, check the foundations of the keep, make sure that everything's stable before going about.
So Dimitri would be more willing to put the effort in than of a walk back to the keep than risk any issues with the stone shaping.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Considering the fact that there's no need for it to be done this afternoon.
True. Would give
the keep
hunters
this long without an underground passageway.
It would give the hunters and scouts an easy out to go out and hunt and get supplies, which we are in desperate need of.
Okay.
Remembering that there was
a quick ritual before we actually head back out of the tunnel. After hearing from Genrick, after he's talked to the commander, and put an alarm spell up around the chamber, just if anything does come through here or suddenly appear, we'll get some warning for the next 8 hours.
Cool. Thought process.
So Genrick, get up through and back up with the commander.
Okay.
Well, if he's doing that, why don't, like, instead of wasting a wild shape, and we're all just planning on going back anyway, why don't we all just go?
Because the advantage of him doing a check in the rat tunnels is just confirming that whilst there's no chance of Dimitri's calculations being incorrect, it's nice to know exactly where we've ended up compared to the keep as to where the end of the tunnel is, to make it easier to calculate and ensure the stone shape ends up back here.
Okay. I feel like Hildred would be a little upset because it's also her calculations and understanding of geography, but sure, if that's what you need.
Good. Hildred can fix that, no problem.
I'm sure we can trust the rats to just tell us where these tunnels come out.
Well, then while we're waiting for Genrick to get in contact with the commander and stuff, I'm going to sit down and sketch out where based on our exploration and stuff, the tunnel goes where we seem to be, where would be the best way of forming a tunnel to finish up in the keep, so on and so forth.
Okay, so
Mm.
from Hilderon's perspective, you're not far from the front of the keep. You'd be directly under the courtyard at this stage.
Cool. So yeah, I'd be doing a quick sketch so we can show it to the commander when we all eventually get up, and because I don't like not doing anything. So sitting and sketching and planning would be where I'd be doing while we're waiting for Genrick.
Okay. Does
that's
Genrick
something
actually
we can
wild
do.
shape and go?
Do we have something that we can like stick to the top of this tunnel where we want to see where it comes out? Because then we can just use locate object when we're up in the keep to see where it is. Oh no, that doesn't go through stone.
Yep, that is correct.
Ah,
I know my divinations.
It's
quite
actually
well.
something that unfortunately I haven't done the spell list on the A5 web page for some reason. It's locked to doing specific spells, so I haven't been able to do the search easily enough. But I was trying to find locate object.
If we could use locate object, I can quite easily druid craft something to be here. But I'm also fairly confident in my ability to map out where we are. I'll have a look and see if there's anything that I can.
Okay, so locate object now
Use.
is only stopped by lead.
it's only stopped by lead. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I can druid craft something.
So if any thickness of lead is in direct path between you and the object, the spell is unable to find it.
I don't suppose there's any lead deposits here.
Well, Demetrius got this lump of lead. Can I good object?
Hey, lead is one of the few things locate object cannot find.
Yeah. What do we have that we can just leave down here for now?
Dimitri.
As I said, I can. Tempting. I can druid craft something. You could druid craft something.
Any of the magical items of the group that you study, you can use as the target.
Just trying to see.
We can write a note. We was here.
I haven't had a chance to use druidcraft yet.
No, just like stick one of my daggers into the rat holes.
You can.
I'll just do that. Stick my dagger in the rat hole. And it's a plan still for me to turn into a rat.
Seems to be.
It'll be the fastest way out.
Yep.
So you can turn into anything else you wish to.
Doesn't have to be a rat.
I'll turn into a rat and just follow Gregor back up.
Okay, so on the way up, you find yourself going through a rat's den and become the rat of the party.
I was going to say Gregor thinks, oh, hang on, you're a pretty good looking rat there. Maybe I'll take you a slight detour on the way up.
I'm not a new rat king.
Well, you
tie my tails together with all of them.
Well, you have about 50 odd rats, all happy to greet and rub up against you.
I would like to cast Firewall.
Can you do so while wild shaped? Do you have an ability to allow?
I do not believe I can cast spells whilst wild shaped.
You can't.
Would you like to turn into a non-rat and then cast it?
You also may not want to cast Firewall inside rat tunnels.
Burning Hands will do enough if I just put it in the hole.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to get out through the rat tunnels.
He doesn't treat his friends well.
And hey, he did call himself the Rat King. And the
Yeah.
vermin do love him.
Vermin Supreme Genrick now instead of Genrick the generic.
It is less generic.
Yeah, so just keep heading up until I get back to the keep or wherever this hole comes out.
And you do get quite a lot of interest from the female rats because, hey, you are the king of rats right now.
I'm just waiting for Genrik's wildfire spirit to suddenly become a rat.
It will forever be a ferret.
It's close.
It's just a really long rat.
Okay, so...
Or a rat with a really short tail.
You were sort of slowed down by the rat warrens, and it takes you about an hour to make it to the surface. You'd have only expected about 10 minutes, but hey, you did get distracted by the other rats.
So I've got a very nice sketch of the tunnels and map and keep now.
You do. You spend a lot of effort drawing it up.
Yep. I'm trying to drown out
relay the
Dimitri's distracted
information.
voices.
And what was that for Genric?
I relay like the path I take to the rest of the group, but they just hear rat noises.
Well, I was about to say that when the telepathic bond expires, because that was an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Greg will say, well, I'm guessing he's taken the long way or got a bit distracted by some friends partway up.
Does anyone still need healing?
Dimitri's mortally wounded, but
I believe that Valen, Dimitri, Hilderon, and Genric each had 5 damage.
I have a bit more than 5 damage on my one, but that might just be because it hasn't updated with my new con modifier.
I did also heal for like 10 points or something last session. So yeah, I was left with just 5. So I could do another healing word, but...
Or if we're sitting around for an hour, you can take a short rest and use the hit dice.
Not worth the hit dice. I'm just thinking, we might run into orcs on our way out, or we might be able to do a little bit of hunting on our way back.
Okay, so Genric, you make it to the surface. You find yourself in the storehouse under the keep where they store all their supplies.
Yeah. The female rat took you up to the choicest grain bins.
Yep. Well loved.
Yeah. Am I locked in here? Is the door locked? Can I leave?
It's very hard to tell if the door's locked while you're a rat.
Hmm.
And the locked door won't really stop you that much if you're a rat.
I'll just go out. And when I get back to when I get out of the storeroom or in a corridor, I will just turn back into Genric.
Okay, so you find yourself going through one of the rat tunnels. Instead of coming out in the keep, you come out in the courtyard. Just in time to hear about a recipe where you can use the various parts of a rat to make a very interesting sandwich.
Do you have any loyalty to your former rat buddies?
They seem to be loyal to me. I'm less loyal to them.
It's just making me think of Terry Pratchett's Dwarfs.
Yep.
And as
But
you
he,
change,
the halfling's going the gourmet version of rat on a stick.
Yep.
and as you change back, you find yourself in the presence of Dauphin and the cook, halfling cook.
Ah, you're back already.
Yeah, left the others in the cave. They thought something about me being a rat would get them out of the cave faster.
Okay. In what cave are we talking about?
Oh, the cave where there was some demons opening up a portal. Like, were they demons or devils?
They were demons. People misconstrued them as devils tonight.
Some infernal beings down in the basement being annoying. The rats told me.
How crazed does his eyes look?
No more
Henrik
than
is
usual.
perfectly sane and very sober.
Hard to tell. He looks as crazy as he normally looks, especially considering he seems to be surrounded by rats who are squeaking at him adoringly.
Right. Again, surprisingly, that somehow makes me believe him. So the rest of the gang are somewhere?
Yeah, there's a cave system that goes directly underneath the keep. The Ashen King had a portal down there.
Yeah. But yeah, it definitely sounds like something that the commander would want to know about, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I was supposed to do. I got a bit distracted on the way up.
You hear a lot of squeaking as your friend Halfling collects quite a few rats on his daggers.
Yeah, I'll go find the commander.
Doesn't take
Well,
you
Martin,
long. What was that, Jeremy?
I was going to say that I don't know if anybody else, but yeah, Dimitri's used one of his rogue hit dice and he's got back his 5 hit points.
Yep.
If I need it, I can throw myself a healing word later.
And you find the commander rather quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Has Genrick realized he has no way of communicating with us now the telepathic bond's disappeared?
He potentially has not noticed.
Oh, okay.
I can just send the rats back down.
With the apparent ability to remember what he's gone up for, I'd be surprised if he knows much at all.
I didn't prepare sending today.
I can prepare sending.
I can.
I don't think I can.
I'm just saying I didn't prepare it today.
Okay, yeah.
The commander greets you and says, what news from the exploration?
We found a portal and the beginnings of a summoning ritual. We fought off the intruders. I believe we closed the portal. And they had begun the workings on a tunnel to come up directly underneath the keep.
Well, that is fortuitous that you got them before they completed it, because we might not have been able to defend them if they came in from underneath.
Speaking of which, the rest of the group would like for me to finish off the tunnel so that they can get up more easily and escape route of some sort. Should it be required?
Trapped down there?
Yeah, they're still down there.
Are they trapped?
No, they can get out. They're just wanting me to do all
Supply
the work.
run! Fresh water! Trying to, send the thoughts to Genrick, knowing that the telepathic bond is no longer there, but...
You can always be hopeful, but Genrick has basically said, They want me to do this, not that we need to do this and it's beneficial.
Okay.
The rest of the group think it'll be beneficial for everyone.
They do. So, which members think it would be beneficial?
The pretentious one, the quiet one, and the loud one.
Who's who?
Yes.
Yes.
That is something that I probably should confirm, having said we like getting description of the chamber after we close the portal. Noting that apparently the fort noted felt like a bit of an earth rumble happening. Did we experience any rockfall or anything like that down here?
You would have felt stuff, loose earth moving, but you wouldn't have noticed as much because the actual closing the portal was loud and occupied your whole attention.
Okay, so that's better. It does mean that we probably do need to actually check the tunnel to make sure it isn't black.
Okay, so he does think about it a bit and says, "Well, can you close it if necessary?"
I can make a big heavy door on it that can only be opened from this side.
That would work. Let's see your magic at work, he says.
And then I'll...
Can we get out first?
Well, I'm going to be making the tunnel from this side, so you're not going to be able to get through it until I finish. Actually, that's how tunnels work. You can't really go through a tunnel until it's finished.
Yeah, but
would we, considering
the wasn't paying attention to was the fact that Dimitri had specifically specified he's not standing underneath this thing while you start moving the earth above him.
So, would we, considering it was a lot longer than we were expecting, would we have decided to start exiting the other way?
That's completely up to you
after we'd effectively had an hour, like our short rest, Dimitri was thinking, he's obviously gone the wrong way or got distracted, so we might as well check the tunnel, make it collapse.
I'm happy to go for a walk.
Okay.
Once I finish the sketch, I'm starting to twitch.
Okay, so I will give our druid a survival check to figure out where's the best place to put the door.
Survival. I think I'm good at that. Survival. It's not on this page. This one. I got a 20.
I was just going to say, I could help by giving you guidance if that works.
Yeah, but that's touch, and we
then
would have had to do that before, and I'm not sure it lasts an hour.
Well,
Tom's up here with me, isn't he?
Because I can do this. Oh, Dopin's with you, of course.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
I was going to say, I could guidance as well, but I'm not there.
The only problem is he looks a bit dirty. I don't know if I want to touch him. And
there's a reason why the rats like Genrick so much.
True.
That is up to you. Do you give him guidance?
I can give myself guidance.
Oh, there, you can do it.
I will give myself guidance because that worked well last time somebody tried to do it.
Okay, so give yourself guidance.
21.
Yes, you think you could probably make the tunnel shorter by going in through the basement of the keep. Also making it a little more defensible from if people are assaulting you from the surface.
Yep. So start off by making the door and then do the tunnel.
Okay, so while you're doing this, the others are exploring. Give me a survival roll while you're passing through the slightly altered passageways.
I'm assuming that's going to be Hildren, because she's the one leading the way back out.
Yeah.
To be
24?
give directions. Not that
23. 23.
Okay, so it was 24, and then you got the directions, and it became 23. I get that.
Okay.
I got 25.
Okay, so yes, as you're going, you can see that things have moved. It will be a tighter squeeze getting out than it was getting in.
But still doable.
Still doable. You'll just be doing a lot of crawling through mud.
It also makes it harder for the underworld beings if they return have to go to decide themselves to go this way for them to get out. Not a bad thing.
And as you're exploring, this is where Dauphin and Elliot make it into the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Only took you 15 feet to make it back to where the hole had been dug.
Oh, you're
And
pretty
we're no longer there.
But on the plus side, Dave didn't collapse on her head either.
Yep.
I mean, I can do that if you want me to.
No, I'm all good.
I would like to cast Earth Tremor at 6th level.
Guidance.
It's with a joke. I am not doing that. Not whilst I'm in the tunnel.
What do you mean?
And no more wild shapes to get yourself out easily.
I don't have it.
I thought that was your plan to convert the stone into dirt you could then use move earth for.
No, I have transmute stone for that. And a 40-foot area of stone into mud.
Which is a good way of getting through a keep's defenses.
Yeah. Just leave the garden hose on.
Do you yell out for
them? Yeah.
Okay, so...
I would like to remind you my passive perception is 26.
Both elves instantly pick up that Dauphin's yelling from behind.
But not me?
You should also pick it up as well, yes. With that passive perception.
Cool. So, do we turn around and go back, or...?
It looks like he didn't pay attention. Unless you came back down another rat and then converted down the bottom there, maybe it'll be shit, but I bet that's not what he did.
Oh, they're clearly not coming back. I'll just go back up and close the door.
Is Dauphin yelling, or is it just Generic?
No, it's just Genric.
Loud one, quiet one, other one. Dimitri's the other one.
Figured that one. I'd probably turn around and start heading back to Genric.
And then you hear this loud boom.
Okay, I stop and try to figure out what it was and where.
You have a feeling someone just shut a door.
Genric!
The number you have tried to reach is currently unavailable.
Oh well, let's go hunting instead.
Yeah, that's it. We've got to check to make sure the tunnel is actually still traversable.
Yep. Let's keep going.
Okay, so it will take you guys about 4 hours to make it out of the tunnel. And you make
No
it
sweat.
to the river just at sunset.
Is that because it's a lot riskier and turny, or like there's blockages or things?
You're having to crawl through more of it than you did previously.
Okay. Because I was thinking, I'm sure it only took about an hour or so to work out the fact that obviously it was not so long that the rats weren't running the whole distance. So.
Well, if you were the size of a rat, you probably could have made it in about half an hour.
Okay.
So basically, if they want to use this for an exit / supply run point / water resource, they're going to need to do some work to widen the tunnel.
They are.
And okay, they're going to want to put in some extra structural support anyway, just to ensure that it doesn't collapse. So, but it's all good.
And you do make it back to the river eventually.
So it's like late afternoon by the time we get back to the river.
Well, you can see the sun starting to set by the time you get out of the river.
Cool.
Dimitri will do the prestidigitation to clean up and dry off, obviously, if you get out of the river. So.
A lot of my armor just doesn't get wet.
And then start the ritual to get his horse back again. So, he should be ready in a minute or two.
Could I do a quick perception check and see if there's any nearby animals or anything that would be a good idea to forage?
You can.
Okay. Natural 20.
Okay.
Which with perception would make it a 31.
You do pick up there's a lot of fish in the river. It has a lot of salmon, and there are a couple of fresh bear tracks in the area.
Ooh. I'm really tempted to let the others go back and do a quick hunt.
I can imagine Hildren riding a bear.
Sure, it wouldn't be the first time. I'll check with I'll check with Dimitri and Trellin that they'd be okay to walk or ride back or run back, and I might try and do some supply acquisition.
Okay, while you're arranging that, I'm just gonna duck to the bathroom and I'll be right back.
So I'm assuming Dimitri and Trellin have no issue with this?
No worries.
No, certainly no problem. But you may want to consider that potentially nighttime might be a time when the protectors of the keep take advantage and do a bit of a stroll.
True, but the fact that there's animal tracks around here means that the undead don't usually come over here.
Make you more happy that you can go and do it. He doesn't bother.
Sweet. I'm fairly good at being stealthy, and particularly if there's forests and woods near where I am. I am exceedingly comfortable in this area.
Oh, good. Something I wanted to check. Did Genrick actually go all the way back down the passageway to get to the chamber? Or did he just eventually connect up the demon-built passage and then call from there?
He connected up the demon-built passage, came all the way down. I was like, where did they go? They sent me up there. I built them a tunnel so they could get out, and they're not here. Called out, and then went back up and closed the door.
So you set the alarm off.
Yeah.
Wasn't the alarm in the chamber?
Yeah, then he said he walked all the way down to the chamber to try and find us.
Okay.
And did he get his dagger back?
Yeah, he would have grabbed his dagger.
Unless, of course, someone walked off with it.
No, I wouldn't have done that.
How else is he going to know where Bradshaw is?
We were just discussing, Martin, the realisation that, Dimitri's well aware that Genrick did actually break the passage enough to get back down to the chamber or turn back into a rat and went back down again because the alarm got sent off.
Yep. So someone set off your alarm after all that effort of setting it up.
Indeed.
Does this mean you go back and reset it up?
No, not through that passage again.
So the bear tracks and stuff, like, we're in the forest now, right?
You are in a hilly forest, yes.
So we're in my Gonna remember what I call it. Familiar terrain now.
Familiar terrain.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm Arctic and Mountain. Different character. Oh well, I'm gonna go hunting.
And Dimitri and Shellen were happy enough to let her go.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
sure. She's
It
got
may.
6, so and I've got 19. So
I may not be. It may not be my familiar terrain, but I grew up in a city surrounded by forests. I'm comfortable.
Yeah. There's Dimitri summoned his phantom steed, and he's heading back to the keep.
Okay, so does Trellin follow on the exploration, or does he run back to the keep?
I'll run back to the keep.
I believe you're almost as fast as the Phantom Steed.
That's right. So I'll just run
I can slow down
alongside.
for him.
Yeah.
Because you're only like 70 or something, aren't you?
It's 55 feet, but then there's also a bonus action I can do.
Yeah.
So that's an additional 55 feet. So, yeah, it's a bit rubbery.
Anyway, we're not in any rush.
Well, wouldn't it be move, action, dash? So that'd be triple 55 feet, which would be 165.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't want him to feel inferior. Dimitri's got a high sense of.
Dimitri will slow down his horse so you can keep up. The phantom speed has a base move of 100. So even at 2, although technically Dimitri can get a bonus dash as well, but even only 2, that's still 200.
Yep. Okay.
Yes. You can be feeling like you're delving Dimitri's pride, but yes, Dimitri is slowing down so you can keep up. Just like always.
And just like always, I'm sure Trellin is considering how easy a target Dimitri is along the way.
That's right.
So it only takes you about, at your speeds, only about half an hour to make it back to the keep.
No worries.
As you were literally
Because
flying
neither
along the
just slowed
ground.
down but the others.
And Hilderan notices that they disappear rather quickly once she says she's going hunting.
No problem with that.
So if she had any other words after saying I'm going hunting, they don't quite hear it.
That's cool. I like being alone and needed some space anyway.
And hey, you don't actually have Dimitri in your head anymore.
I was going to say, like, just think, how are you going to hunt effectively without Dimitri's guidance?
So what I'm planning, what I want to do is I want to get to, it doesn't have to be a huge amount of supplies, but a bit to supplement our current, the keep's current stock. But I also want to take some time in the woods to commune with Zerchev, and just check in and maybe ask him some questions about the Ashen King.
Okay, so while you're communing with Zerchev, you realize that this area of Karamikos is like his domain, as he is the patron of the forest animals itself.
Yep, that's part of the reason I wanted to go hunting alone. And I wanted to pay respects and just ask him if he had any ideas or instructions around the Ashen King.
He will definitely support you if he returns. and would look for you to stop him returning.
Cool. So, awesome. Does he have any ideas of where would be the best place to do that? Whether we should wait at the keep or hunt him out?
You get a sort of unclear information from him. He may actually have very little understanding of how the Ashen King operates.
Cool. Can he tell me where the Ashen King's army might be at the moment? Like, is it close? Is it?
He says his army resides within Riverfort Keep.
Within Riverfort Keep. Okay. Cool. And I'd also ask him for some guidance around where's the best places to do some hunting to try and supplement the keep supplies.
Okay, so you do get visions of various places where the game has grown too large in population.
Cool.
And
I'll take note of those.
They range from deer to so herbivores to predators to fishing and also an idea of which sort of animals to avoid harming because they seem to need to regrow their population.
Sweet. Cool. I'll try and use that. Are there any of those places nearby where I currently am?
Quite a few.
Cool. Can I hit up one of the sites and do some population control?
Biggest pest in the region are the wild pigs. Though you have been given a warning that some of them are devil swine and not just pigs.
Sweet. Well, I'll go hunt some wild pigs and probably won't avoid devil swine, more try to, if I see one, I'd try to eliminate it.
Well, they are known as the nastiest of all the were creatures.
Yeah, I'll see what opportunity provides.
Okay, so I will give you a survival roll to see how well you can find what you need.
Okay, let me just check because with my updated feats, there is one about hunting and gathering. Game hunting. I gain an advantage on any check made to locate or catch local game animals in the wild.
Well,
the other stuff is around net usage.
Considering you just did a commune, give it also inspiration.
Cool, what does that mean?
So inspiration means if you don't already have inspiration, you get a D4. If you already have inspiration, you upgrade the dice.
So it's like expertise dice. Awesome.
Expertise dice is the same as inspiration dice in a lot of ways.
Okay, cool. I need to get I don't have any expertise dice in anything at the moment. So that would be a 27 plus 2, 29.
Okay, so you do find probably at least 5 supply worth of game, more than you normally would.
More than I normally would. So normally I think I get 3 supply.
So that means you'll get about 8 supply.
Sweet. I'll check what my normal supply is.
And how much did he carry?
That is a question.
There is a river going down past the keep. It's not a big hassle.
Sweet.
It's also not too hard to make a barge small enough to tow the game down.
Cool. I feel accomplished with my hunting, and with 8 supply, that should give us a little bit of leeway at the keep. And I'll head back.
Okay, so you end up reaching the keep about midnight. So going over to the others, you're back just after sundown. You can see Genric looking wistfully at something to burn.
Mhm.
And he has collected his dagger.
So,
And you see
Demetrius
Dauphin in discussion with the chef while the chef is preparing a pile of rats,
mhm.
turning them into supply.
Demetrius got up to Generic and go, so glad you could follow instructions. You went down to the chamber, didn't you?
Yeah, you went there.
Well, you weren't supposed to be going down to the chamber. So now I've got to go back down and reset the alarm.
Well, lucky for you, there's a tunnel that you can use now.
Hmm. I guess we'll see. And we will go down and investigate the chamber again. The tunnel's been made, and the chamber, and again do an alarm spell on the chamber, and like a ritual, and pretty certain I can have more than one at a time in their rituals. Assuming I can, we'll then do one on the door as well. Yeah, I can talk about there's not complication or anything like that. So so I'll do one on the door as well.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly what have you created then as part of that tunnel and
Okay, instead of creating it in the
closure?
courtyard like you were expecting, he actually moved it into the basement of the keep, which gives you more defensive options. And
Well, that's where Dimitri was saying we were supposed to be going. He did want it under the keep because the whole point of having a cistern and access and things like that is, yeah, you want to be using it as the last resort before the keep gets overrun, not just the external courtyard. So,
and it does have a gentle slope down into the passageway that had been clawed out. So it looks like with a bit of work you can make the rest of the passageway usable.
and the so he was able to create a heavy wooden door or something, or heavy stone door or something blocking the passage as well.
The passage is blocked by a heavy stone door
Right.
with hinges, because he can make hinges.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly 2 hinges.
Exactly 2. So 2 hinges hold this entire door, so they must be massive hinges.
Wow.
I'm not
So
there, but
is the door in the floor, or is it in a wall or something in somewhere? Like it's down in the wall of the cellar or something.
I would say it's the wall of the cellar.
Okay, happy with that.
can it be unlocked or locked from both sides, or one side, or?
Can only be open from this side, and there's like latches.
Mm-hmm.
And plus you can pile things up against it.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so it seems that now that a majority of the threat has been removed, that you should be able to wait for the support to arrive. As long as Bargle comes through with his promise.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys wish to do anything particular over the next 10 days while waiting?
Well, I mean, the first point of call will be talking to the keep commander and explaining in very detailed information the plans and reasons behind creating the tunnel down to there, because hey, it expands the keep defense cube capability, but also obviously it becomes another potential threat. So part of the process for the next few days will be shoring up the tunnel, smoothing out the tunnel down to the Canberra, and then shoring up the tunnel that's leading out to the river.
In that discussion, I'd also possibly raise the fact that if we wanted to use the tunnel to escape the keep, if the keep is overrun, then we need a way of blocking the door from the other side.
That's cave-in.
True, cave-in works. As long as they've got somebody who can do that.
And it doesn't cave everything else in. Yeah.
Or we could set up a system where somebody without magic can trigger a cave-in.
If only you had a dwarf with stone cutting.
How does Genrick feel about explosives?
It deals with fire, so Genrick would really love to do so. Unfortunately, gunpowder doesn't work in this setting.
Oh, right.
The gods have specifically changed the chemistry.
Could I set up a glyph to be an explosion if somebody touches a particular stone or something?
Do you have any of the wards that do that?
I don't have it prepared, but I've got 10 days to wake up with it one day.
The next few was looking at putting up a glyph of warding on the door just as an extra proportion, and then looked and thought, oh no, that's 200 gold worth of my stuff. No, I'm not doing that.
I mean, if I'm doing it as a fail-safe for the keep, I would expect the keep to give me a hand. Particularly as one of the things I'd be doing in the 10 days is going for a regular hunt and showing them where Zurchev suggested I go hunting and giving them the information I got.
Okay, so yes, they are willing to pay for some of the protection, and especially if they can convince Genrick to use his natural ability to affect stone to make it easier for them to navigate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd be happy to do a glyph of warding that can be near the door or whatever to be triggered by a, maybe in one of the big, no, not one of the rat tunnels, just somewhere where people wouldn't accidentally touch it, but where if they touch that section, that thing, it would set off an explosion in 30 seconds. Could I do that with glyph of warding?
You should be able to. Let me just have a quick glance to see if we can word it in such a way that it will work.
I'm fairly sure I can.
Yeah, you can store a spell of third level or lower as part of creating a glyph. Depending on the spell slot, the stored spell must target a single creature or area with a non-beneficial effect. It's cast when the glyph is triggered.
I mean, if we want to...
Standard explosive wounds will do the damage when it's triggered.
Yeah, because I can...
I will say you can do a command word to activate.
Yeah, you can describe the conditions under which it gets triggered.
So, yeah, a command word would work, and I would give that word to the commander to distribute as he sees fit. And let him choose the command word, because I don't think it's going to be me triggering it.
Well, he does choose a word for you and get you to put it into the spell.
Cool. So I can set that up.
So as far as Dimitri's concerned, he's done everything required as far as helping to enhance the capability by just instructing people where to do the tunnel and say, hey, you want me to go down there and fill up the place through the river and things as well, clear out all the space. So his plan for the next week or so, depending upon how long it takes Bargle to get back, will be catching up and discussing with the clerics of the keep and confirm situation and expectation they've had for the Ashen King, and also find out whether Bargle happened to leave any particular notes or reference materials around. So we'll certainly be interested to look through whatever library type capabilities the keep has.
Okay, so the keep.
So Hildgren, when she first gets back after her hunt, or the next morning, okay, hopefully didn't wake Dimitri up in the middle of the night.
I'm quite happy to have a quiet night.
Did she talk about the fact that Zerchev told her that the Ashen King's army was in the keep?
Yeah, one of the things I would have done the next day is debrief the rest on everything Zerchev said. The other thing, taking this opportunity to talk about what I would be doing in the 10 days, is I'd be doing regular hunting trips. As I said, I'd be taking the hunters of the keep to the areas that Zerchev told me about and give them the warnings and tell them these are the creatures you should be hunting, these are the ones you should be leaving alone. I would also be giving my sketch of the tunnels and any additions I decided to add to it to the commander. I think that would be about what she'd be doing. She'd be focused on building up the survival of the stockpile.
But possibly the immediate thing to be doing, if it didn't bother Hildgren at all initially, when Hildgren talked about the fact that Zerchev says that the Ashen King's army was in the keep, do we consider that was old news about the idea that, hey, he was sending the demons up from a portal underneath the keep, or the army in particular, based upon the number of humans that were still suffering the plague and unconscious, or
I was
the fact
interpreting
that the
it.
Dread Knight and the undead army are actually on the behalf of the Ashen King?
Well, I could be happy to discuss that. I think I would have automatically assumed we're talking plague victims.
And like that, I'm thinking that's the most likely, but I just want to double check that there's not other obvious things that Dimitri would be definitely thinking, hang on.
Well, I can do a primeval awareness to see if I sense any demons or devils or any of the other things I can do.
Yeah.
Well, you do.
The other factor, of course, is
you will sense some of them because you'll definitely get Fey-like, Fiend-like, Draconic.
I'd also get undead, but would I get any different from my... I think I'd be getting very used to... I think there would be a level I would be used to with the primeval awareness. Is there any change in that?
Yep, because you didn't really use it inside the keep. The undead would definitely be of a scale you've never sensed before.
But there's no increase in fiend or devil or any of the others.
Well, the fiend seems to be a little less than what you've been sensing recently, so that's an improvement.
Yep, okay. So I'd probably communicate that to Dimitri and go, well, it's probably either the undead could be used by the Ashen King, and, I mean, Bargle could be whatever, or it's the plague victims.
Yeah, but, I mean, exactly. As a player, we're trying to double check where Dimitri and the rest of the party are happy that we consider that the plague victim could have been what Jeff was talking about.
Yep. Dimitri would assume it's the plague victims because part of the reason they kept them unconscious was so the plague would not progress, and those who
Yeah.
did progress ended up serving the Ashen King or dying.
Yeah. And so then, well, I guess that's the other factor that to be done for the next week or so would be the presumably they've now got the capacity to actually get some relatively regular supplies coming in. So it's probably not a bad idea to get a few more remove curses and restorations conducted to get the rest of the keep up and running. Assuming that there's room for the extra staff compared to what the undead are taking up, since Bargle got around here to help get rid of them.
Well, you do have the extra hunting happening, so you do have supply to keep people going as long as the hunt keeps up. And the clerics have been managing to produce some basic goods, so that will make things easier for everyone.
Yeah.
And the chef
there's
probably was creating some preserved food and stuff to last, if we're bringing in enough to have leftovers.
He is managing to do that, plus he has severely reduced the rat population in the keep.
How does Genrick feel about that?
Oh, he helped.
It's not the first time we've had a PC in the party who can summon the wild animals just for the rest of the party to kill them.
I feel like that's a little unfair, but sure.
Well, we had the Disney princess who would summon the wild animals with her singing, and then the other characters would then have breakfast.
Like I said, people get complain about Dimitri's attitude towards his friends.
I don't think I'd necessarily approve of it. It takes the
There's no skill involved.
Yeah, and like there's no honor in it. I did want to ask Martin if there's any chance that during these 10 days my hunting and ranging out and showing people and all of that stuff could possibly train me and get me an expertise dice in survival.
Potentially, yes. But
It's
then,
something you'll be able to do during downtime.
We'll also be looking at over the break getting all the specializations you should have in skills. So you might actually have gathering as a specialization, which would get you expertise dice.
Cool.
So I will be sending out questions over time to fill out all the things that are missing.
Awesome.
Just I haven't quite finished getting through the magical items because some of them take a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so
what is the normal living population of the keep, and how many of them are they actually managing to restore each day?
It would probably be close to about 1,000 or so, I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
Because it is literally a big chunk of the army. Let me just check which one it is. Oh no, actually it's about where are we? It's about 300 is the actual keep.
And obviously the actual numbers don't matter too much. It was more the idea of what percentage they can recover now. They've effectively not got food issues, because obviously that was the big factor initially, and then whether or not they whether there's any advantage to party members, like Dimitri putting any effort into removing curses and things like that out of the house. But
well, considering if you remove all the curses, there'll be no need for the halfling store arrive.
There'll be no need for what, going?
The halfling store arrive.
Well, it's still the aspect of time. They're still going to conduct a bit of a cleansing type process to help ensure that the host king doesn't come back, and therefore at least this is not the centre of power. Yeah.
And you do know that the Ashen King can only appear where his biggest congregation of victims are.
So if we wanted to trap him when he tries to come back at the full moon before hitting everybody with the black flame, we'd want to leave the plague victims as they are.
Yep, either one.
So what's Genrick doing in the 10 days?
Probably just going around, marking down where things
Currently
are.
tracking rats.
Would you be going down into the tunnels and helping, make them a little more passable?
Yeah, if that's what's been asked of him.
Using your stone shape and move earth, you could probably...
Move
I
Earth
think
is
what
not
Canberra-
a great thing for using underground. It's more for a surface.
What was that, sorry?
Move Earth is not great for underground. It's
It
best
was
for-
more the idea of the on the tunnel where there'd been some changes in the direction. The idea of move earth might have been able to just push the some of the soft fallen earth off to the side to open the space a bit more.
Jeremy, it doesn't push.
Again.
It raises and lowers the level of
Raise
the
the lows
land.
only.
That's
Anyway,
all it does.
I don't care.
It
That's
can
what
also make a trench.
I'm not sure the level up one actually gives you that option because it sounded a lot more powerful than the other version, but it was very limited.
Yeah.
From Dimitri's perspective, he doesn't mind. Not his problem.
So you can reshape the area, changing its elevation or creating and eliminating holes, walls, and pillars. The only limitation is that the elevation changes may not exceed half the area's horizontal dimension.
For example, 40-foot area laser to include 20-foot height.
Oh, okay. So
If I just
it does
lower
say,
a certain section, I can make a trench using that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yes. But you'll be doing 40 foot by 40 feet each time you're doing it.
Do I have to use the whole 40 feet? I can't just pick to do like 40 feet by 10 foot.
You have to choose the spots that don't change. And you can raise or lower it by 20 feet when you do so.
How does the concentration work on it?
Concentration is... I was looking at it. It takes 10 minutes to do every change, and because it's 2 hours, he can do it 12 times.
Yeah, but the point being the fact that it is permanent after he sets it.
It is permanent after he does it. I just normally when it's concentration, it's not permanent, but this one.
Well, and that's what I was looking at. Was thinking, hang on, that makes sense, but the all good. Okay.
So it won't affect stone objects crafted from stone, plants, but they can shift those based on the rest of the movement he's doing.
But I guess the other factor is whether or not Orellis wants to keep the exit point of the tunnel below the river level, or whether he'd like to have an above ground exit that's going to be less well hidden, but also easy to get in and out of.
I'd advise keeping it where it is.
The Dimitri's not a concern either way.
Well,
I would be advising to keep it where it is because you don't want to make it too obvious. It needs to stay hidden.
There's always the possibility of creating one that when you open it, it becomes visible, but until it's open, it doesn't exist. So basically, it's an open once only. Emergency exit.
Yeah, but if you do that, then you don't really have the ability to do supply runs if you're under siege.
Well, he can still use the river, but I'm just saying he could also build a emergency exit somewhere.
True.
And like you said, like as far as I'm concerned, he's the commander of the keep. He can set up the defences or capabilities as he feels like. And obviously, Dimitri's staff are there to happy to help him set up as he needs it.
Okay, so most of the 10 days passed pretty well. What was Dauphin doing during that time as well?
Probably being a bit bored. Going down to see if we could help out with tunneling, realizing that, again, he'd probably have to get dirty. Don't have any spells that help, so we'd probably tag along with Hildren, whether she wanted him or not, just to go for a bit of a walk outside, maybe help out with a bit of hunting.
Okay, and what was Trellin doing during that time?
I'm hunting. I don't know how far 10 days will take me, but that's the most productive thing I can think of.
Okay, so each of you feels as if you've actually managed to make a difference in getting everything ready for the halflings to arrive, making sure there's at least plenty of food because, well, considering halflings.
And with 3 of us, that would be able to get us 2 to 3 supply, even if I didn't do a decent survival roll.
Plus a squad of 6 from
plus a squad of hunters.
Yeah, squad of hunters from the keep itself.
So we'd have quite a decent build-up of supplies.
And you do notice that most of the hunters here do have the symbols of Zerchev on them.
Cool.
Because this is his homeland.
There'd be the odd night where I'd go out by myself without anybody really paying attention and go and do some, prayer. Like, I think for Hildren, hunting alone is a bit of a
holy quest.
Prayer to the holy thing for Zerchev. So she'd probably go try and take down some of the more difficult prey. Well, carnivores, but some of the more difficult targets, and that would be part of her worship of Zerchev.
Okay, you had been warned as one of the places not to go was into the northern end of the Anchulos River.
Okay. Was that because that's where the devil swine were?
No, it was basically a warning not to go in there.
Okay, well then I would heed my god's warning.
Okay, so the week, 10 days just seems to fly by with activity. And on the...
Did Dimitri manage to find any note or book or information left behind by Bargle? Or any other library material in the keep?
You did note that Bargle had gone through the entire library of the keep with some annotations here and there. And he had noted down the mouth of the Anchulos River is in the valley of the Hutaka. I couldn't actually remember how to pronounce it until I saw the name. And that they are descendants of the people who enslaved the Traldar.
Mm-hmm.
So they still continue enslaving any Traldar who enter that region, or humans for that matter.
There's no specific Bargle material there, except the Bargle editing own notes to the library. So there's certainly some interesting reading to be done. Yep. And he will take note of the fact that, so might have to make a trip up to the Crookneck Mountains at some point. So.
And on the actual day of the full moon, the courtyard has a large box there come morning. no one actually saw the box arrive.
So that'd be the 15th of the 5th.
15th of the 5th.
Awesome. Has anyone seen or heard of from Bargle?
No, it's about like the same question. I'm assuming we haven't yet.
He has not made an appearance.
So,
But in the morning, you do see the box sitting there, and it does bear the symbology of the Black Eagle Barony.
well, but we haven't actually seen any sign of the halfway drive yet either.
You won't expect them to arrive until sundown.
Yep, okay.
Mainly because you have learnt that their magic works only in moonlight.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. But whether or not, again, they might have arrived a day early. Sort of thing.
You also don't think they got the go ahead because the item.
The relic hadn't arrived yet.
Can I or somebody else investigate the box?
You can.
Anyone else want to do it? Or?
Maybe we'll take a look at over it magically to confirm that there's no magical traps or anything like that upon the box.
The box does have runes of protection from divination on it. It doesn't look as if this is something you could divine from afar. Though if you said something then I didn't hear that. Jeremy, had
I don't think anyone gave a direct response.
Does it look like there's any mechanical traps or locks or anything?
What is your perception?
My roll of perception or?
Roll of perception.
I just rolled a natural 20.
Okay, looking
plus 11.
Looking over it, it does look as if it did have quite a few traps on there, but they have actually been disabled.
Does it look like the box is actually been specially built to be anti-detection, or does it look like a crate that someone added a few runes onto the side of?
It looks like a large lead-lined box that someone had designed to stop scrying.
Okay. Well, yeah, Dimitri will be having taken a look and confirmed that apparently there's no mechanical traps or anything like that as well. He will touch the box and do a bit of an identify to confirm exactly if it's the box itself that's magical or whether there's any magical runes or traps upon the box, or it's just preventing what's inside.
It definitely protects anyone from locating the box, and the lining of the box would stop anyone from locating what's in it.
Okay, but it's not actually people who are at the box. There's nothing to actually stop them opening it in that kind of way. So then, yep, does it have an obvious opening mechanism or locking system?
It does, and like Hilderan, you do notice that the traps on it have been disabled.
That seems unlocked.
It does look unlocked.
I was going to say this. If it's unlocked, then we can open it. If not, then I'd probably go for a knock rather than a disabled device, because I wouldn't want to damage the equipment.
Does Trellin, as probably the most dexterous of us, feel like opening it, or just in case?
He's happy to open it.
Well,
He's
yeah,
curious.
because he's got thieves skills.
Well, we've just determined that there's no traps and it's unlocked.
Yeah. How was this box again tonight?
The box itself is about 10 foot high and about 30 foot long, and probably about 10 foot wide.
Okay.
Really
And so does it look like the opening is at one end or halfway down the side, or we have to get to the top of it?
Looks like you could open it on the ends.
Or the sort of thing that you push a button and all the sides fall down and the top disappears?
Looks like there are doors on each end.
Okay. Well, we will go and open over doors and have a look inside.
Okay, it opens with a groan. It's not like, doesn't sound like something that opens very regularly.
And certainly, this looks. Oh no, it's supposed to be the prow of a ship, wasn't it?
It is the prow of a ship inside.
Okay. I was just thinking, hang on, this box looks a bit bigger than we were thinking was the relic that would be locked. And then I said, well, actually, no, it's the prow of a ship. It's probably not like the size.
And the box is taken up with a figurehead that is mounted on the prow of a ship.
Yep.
It looks to be that of a dragon with its wings extended that would go along the side of the ship.
Cool. Is our halfling chef out in the courtyard this morning?
He is. He's watching from a distance to make sure if anything goes bang, it's not with him.
Yep, no, that's fine then. I will. Well, does this look like the item promised?
He goes over and gives it a examination. Natural 20 from him, so...
Oh, good. You thinking, it's a flashing die. Oh, that doesn't matter. It's a flashing die. But apparently it was a 20.
Well, just so you know, there literally was a 20 on the dice.
Yep. Oh, good. Well,
and
you could be fairly confident it's the right one or the wrong one.
He's fairly confident it is the correct one.
Marvelous.
He is actually surprised that it's shown up because it has been missing for quite some time.
And people think Bargle can't be trusted.
Though he does say the chance to get for Bargle to get his hands on the source of the black flame may be the price of the relic.
Is there anything else in the box?
That is it. It has supports holding it from stopping it from moving, but it does go the length of the box.
Looking at the interior of the box, and particularly whether there's like dust or things like that, whether dust could get in, I don't know, sort of type thing. But basically, I'm trying to work out, does it look like this relic has been stored in this box for a long period of time, or whether it's been added to the box as transport for this one occasion?
You think it had been stored in this box for probably about 40 years?
And how long had they lost the relic for?
A couple of hundred.
Yeah, okay. The Dimitri will be explaining to the halfling the fact that, well, it certainly looked like this may be part of the reason why you haven't been able to grey out the relic for at least the last few decades.
He's just glad he can finally use it again.
You're happy then that you're willing to provide your recommendation back to the Halfling Council to confirm that they should cleanse the fort of the Ashen King's effect, and the Halflings will be willing to support the war in American?
He says he will go contact them now, but depends on how things turn out here to whether or not they will be able to support the war in Darrakin.
Yeah.
If it's a trap, they will definitely not support the war.
Yeah. No indication of trap at this time. So.
Okay, so I will give each of you.
I'm just going to look to see whether or not Dimitri's got an easy way of contacting Bargle to say, well, hey, I don't think we're going to need your undead army here much longer. Thanks for the relic.
So I was going to get each of you to make a perception roll.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm good at.
What did people get?
Just double checking
Sorry,
what
all of
my
this?
expertise dice was.
Anyone who's actually noticing things can make a perception roll.
18.
15.
21 if I can't use my passive perception.
28.
24 for the victory.
Okay, so most of you have noticed that with the arrival of the box, you haven't actually seen any of the undead around the keep.
I have to say whether the undead have disappeared already.
Well, I can confirm that if we want, but
I just spent 10 days making a tunnel and they do this to us.
Well, no, the tunnel had nothing to do with the immediate issues in the keep. The tunnel was a long-term improvement.
Escape and foraging tunnel.
And access to the river for fresh water and things as well. Yeah.
Hence the foraging. Okay, so.
So we'll do a bit of a check-in with the human guards of the keep that have presumably become protected. Any indication as to when the undead army decided to leave?
Oh, they never saw anyone leave. So they're a bit
Yes,
surprised they're not there because they've sort of been relying on them the last month.
Yeah, but when were they last seen?
They were last seen before midnight.
oh,
Right.
before we go much further, Martin, I've just been checking my feats because I thought there was a couple of things that might help us today. One of the things I have is one of my cleric feats gives me either my sign is premonition. So either I get a piece of information that will help me in my endeavors before the end of my long rest, or I can roll a d20 and replace any roll made by a creature I can see with the result of this d20.
Which would you like to do?
Well, it's up to you. I don't get to choose.
Okay, so you get a premonition that something's going to happen that you'll probably never see again. One of those once in a lifetime opportunities.
Awesome.
Now, Martin, I'm just trying to remember as a player, but obviously it's stuff Dimitri would definitely remember. In the initial discussions about getting the halfling here to use the Black Flame relic to cleanse the Ashen King's fortress, and that the Bargle was willing to give up the halfling relic in order to have them come as a gift. Was there actually anything in it specifically for Bargle?
Nothing.
There wasn't
deal?
Nothing.
Bargle.
Stated.
It was just the fact that Bargle was happy to try and, apparently, Bargle was happy to try and remove the Ashen King as well, because he was a problem in the area, including in the Black Eagle Barony. Is that correct?
That is correct. You believe that Bargle had stated that he was here to basically stop the Ashen King from taking over the region.
That's what my notes say.
And that was pretty good, Mr. Case, but
which is very much a suspicious result for Dimitri with everything he knows about Bargle.
Absolutely, yeah. It was the sort of thing that when the deal was made, it was he stood, as long as he's worked on our side for the time being, then we need the forces to protect the keep right now. But yes, obviously, the trap is about to be laid. However, Dimitri feels that it's appropriate to at least pretend that everything's going correctly. So he'll do a ritual sending to Bargle and basically say, "Yep, thank you. Relic arrived safely. Your forces have say like 25 words type stuff, but basically say, yep, that relic arrived and the keep no longer needs the protection of the undead who have already left." And then basically turn around to the commander and the halfling and say, "Okay, so we can expect attack from the undead at any time."
I know we're not there yet, but when we get closer, so when the halflings arrive or when the Black Flame arrive or just before we think it's going to arrive, I'm going to do one of my other new feats, which is one of my ranger knacks called See the Unseen. So I can concentrate on the sights and sounds and everything around me for a bit. And then for the next hour, hang on, let me get my feats appendix. For the next hour, basically, I can see invisibility. What can I do? Hang on. For the next hour, I can detect invisible creatures and objects, their location, movement, and actions, and even sense creatures and objects in the ethereal plane.
Yeah. Well, okay. Drake will certainly remind you of the fact that, any attack is likely to come after the halfling, after the Black Flame arrives this evening.
Yeah. So I was going to hold off on that until.
Exactly.
I was going to hold off until the Black Flame arrived, but I just wanted to highlight that I was going to do that so I can keep.
Yep, all good. Did Bargle send a response to my sending at all?
He did send you a response. He says, be on alert. Now that his forces aren't there, the Ashen King may return. Let him know how it goes.
Yep. Well, okay. So, assuming that response comes back almost immediately before Dimitri has a chance to let the others know that, okay, the whole thing's a trap, but at least you've got rid of the bits and pieces. He'll then, add to the fact that, we can expect the attack from the undead and possibly Bargle, presumably, when the Black Flame arrives, but I'm still expecting them to get here because if it's not going to happen, well, that's still our end of the bargain that's been held up. Although it's also possible that Bargle suggests that any such attack might be actually by the Ashen King. So, whilst that's possible, I would think it's less likely, and it might just be Bargle kind of might make his forces come in with a big smoky cloud over them to make it think like it's an Ashen King attack. So, but it may also be worth ensuring that the infirmary is well protected, just in case the Ashen King's able to wake them all up at the same time. But yes, the expectation is the Ashen King is not going to be taking an influence on this plane for at least another while yet.
Well, not till tonight.
Okay, so most of the day is full of suspense. As when the sun starts to set is when your friendly halfling tells you they will be arriving soon as the sun has set.
Dimitri also suggests to Aurelius and the others in the party that if there's any changes or modifications you might do to the defences of the keep in a day, that means that Bargle and the undead army have less intimate knowledge of exactly how the part might be defended, might be advantageous.
Well, he wasn't around. Was
effort attack.
Was the Dreadnought around when we were talking about the tunnel?
He was basically on the walls watching for enemies.
So,
considering the tunnel's been happening for a week or so before he actually disappeared, you can assume that he's aware of it.
Cool.
Then hey, they could quite easily use the water to get in to the underground area without worrying too much because hey, the dead don't need to breathe.
Yep. So setting up a couple of guards down there would probably be a good idea. And your alarm spell's still up, isn't it, Dimitri?
Well, I can re-put it up. Like, it only lasts 8 hours at a time normally, but you can put up a few of them throughout the day, no problem whatsoever. Or in the latter part of the afternoon. So,
Hidron's thing reminded me from before. I'll do my prescient vision thing where you can roll a d20 and save it for later as well, just in case.
Okay. So what did you roll?
A 5.
Well, that would be good to use on someone you don't like.
True.
yeah.
Okay.
Save it for the Dreadnought. It'll mean it won't be a critical hit. Probably.
No, most of the spells I prepped for today are spells to use in battle, so I don't really have anything to defend the keep in a magical way.
Okay, so as the sun...
You mean change the defences of the keep?
Yes.
As the sun starts to set, you see the halfling 10 knights start to write some runes around the box using a dagger that seems to have a blade of darkness.
Dimitri will be watching interestingly.
He's using runes you're not familiar with, but they seem to glow in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye as well. Interested.
And apparently my cat is interested too as he's jumping around the computer, sniffing everything.
Yeah.
My cat's just lying here, asleep.
My dogs are on my feet.
My ferret is biting my toes.
Would so do we think I would have asked the chef earlier when the halfling, the masters of the Black Flame arrive, are they likely to be presenting the Black Flame and doing the ritual fairly quickly, or is there going to be time? I'm trying to figure out whether I should be starting my See the Unseen thing now or not.
He does recommend doing it before they arrive.
So I'd be starting to do the Seeing the Unseen. So I have an hour of seeing invisible things and into the ethereal plane.
Because the most dangerous time for them is their arrival.
Cool. So I'll start that.
Okay. Just quickly grab my cat so he doesn't get too crazy. Believe he just wanted attention. Okay, doesn't take you long.
He was
to get
generously
attention.
offering you the opportunity to give him attention.
Mm.
Well, he's happy now and purring, so that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you as you see the unseen, you do see that there is quite a few astral presences in the region.
Can I figure out if the halflings, do I think they're a threat?
You think they are summoned beings that are just sitting outside of most people's perceptions.
I'd let Dimitri know.
Mm-hmm.
And it does remind you of the undead army. You think they have retreated to the astral plane.
Mm.
Which
I
why
would
no one
definitely
told
be
them to
letting
leave.
everybody know.
Which would be how they disappeared without anyone actually seeing them.
Yeah.
Okay. As the light finally fades and you can see the full moon above you, you see a streak of light come from the west and stop overhead. Sort of like a shooting
Dimitri
star.
will activate the telepathic bond again. 10 minutes or 15 minutes before sunset type stuff. He'll include Aurelius. I think I can get Aurelius in there.
So I would have said the undead army thing over the telepathic bond.
And you see it is a halfling skyship
Cool.
that rides on moonlight.
So
And travels at the speed of moonlight.
It has the speed of moonlight, yes. But it only works on the nights of the full moon.
Not the speed of darkness.
Well, not that quick.
Right.
And you see leaping from it down to the ground around you is about 12 shadowy shapes. Even with your ability to see through things, they look shadowy.
okay.
As they are checking around and basically preparing for the vessel above to lower. They do all look like halflings, though.
Mm-hmm.
I guess probably while this is obviously very interested, but also just looking around, just in case anything else is happening, we're not all focusing on a particular point.
Over telepathic bond, I can show them what I see about the astral figures, right?
You can, yes.
So I would have done that so that we know about the positioning of things. And I would try to be moving in a way that would put me in a good spot if undead come through.
But they're not in attacking. They're not in attacking positions. They're waiting for the ship to lower things down.
No, not the shadowy figures. The
astral Kriegers.
The astral.
Gotcha.
So if this is a trap and a surprise attack, I want to be in position, not surprised, and because I've seen them. And I'd probably be constantly sharing what I see with the others so that they're aware of it. But I want to be in the best position possible for a possible attack.
And just confirming, the telepathic bond can do up to 8 creatures. So Kit's in the party, Halfling Chef, and Aurelius. So he'll be able to command his personnel as well. So how many astral undead around the visible at the moment, or in the vicinity?
You can recognize 3 easily, and the rest seem to be roughly where you last saw them standing on guard.
Okay. And so what kind of numbers were there for the undead previously?
About 100.
Right. Okay. And how many of the human troops of the guard of the keep actually been awakened?
About 30.
Yeah.
And one of the recognizable 3 is the Dread Knight, yeah?
That is correct.
I'm assuming, the recognizable 3 with the Dread Knight, and he's 2 lieutenants more than likely.
That is exactly who you see, the Dread Knight and his lieutenants. And the halfling vessel does lower, and you see that it has sails that seem to be made out of moonlight.
We've got the alarm and the wardings down on the key floor. I'd be suggesting that at least 10 or so of the human guards be protecting the cellar entrance, assuming that hasn't got any of the undead actually sitting there.
I mean, we can go for a walk, but I'm sort of more worried about the Dread Knight.
More in a lot of ways from each perspective, it's the aspect. The guards of the keep are valuable, but possibly not necessarily going to have a huge impact if the undead army does decide to attack, or Bargle decides to attack. Part of the thing he's suggesting to Aurelius that, potentially a squad of men should be down the basement, on the idea that he doesn't think that's where this attack's going to come from, but it'd be good to know if there was any of them down there.
He's happy to assign most of his men down there, just in case.
And probably not like half of the rest of them even in the infirmary area, just in case the Ashen King does arrive to actually act to bring people up. So, but again, he's doing that mostly on a thing, and the other one can be surveillance on the battle wall.
Okay. So,
okay. So
you do see one of the shadowy
obviously the halfling is aware of the presence of the astral undead, and so if he's got any contact, I'm assuming he's probably already warned out the halflings that are arriving from the starship. Not my problem.
You do see 10 Knights talking with the shadowy halfling.
Mm-hmm.
And they seem to discuss and point, and they seem to gesture in direction of the undead knight.
Yep.
Hilderan does believe that each of these shadowy halflings are able to perceive the astral as well.
Cool.
And after watching and seeing nothing else happening, the skyship above does lower itself till it's just over the crate. And you see a rather old-looking halfling carrying a box getting lowered by a crane to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He does greet you all.
What was that guy?
He does offer you greeting.
I smile at him, but I'm eyes darting, alert, watching everything.
Yeah, return the greeting.
Where's Krallen? Martin,
I'm up a wall
you're on a wall. Good. That's what I want to
with a
hear.
longbow.
Yep. And Dauphin?
I'm, down in, I guess, the courtyard with everyone.
So yes, so certainly Dauphin is a melee fighter, or
Magic?
but but did you want to get close or did you want distance?
I'm happy wherever.
Valen's usually my partner in melee.
Well, okay, Valen, yeah.
He's a fighter, yeah.
And Genrick is a prefer close or ranged?
Genrick can do either.
He is multitasking.
I can heal, I can bear, I can rat.
On the plus side, Genrick, undead are bad with fire.
Yeah, that didn't really help the last time because the undead were already on fire.
Yeah, but that's the Ashen King. If we're fighting Bargle's forces.
Wasn't it Bargle's undeads that were already on fire as well?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, initially, right at the keep, there was a bunch of flaming skeletons guarding the
correct.
walls, if I remember correctly.
They were flaming skeletons.
That's annoying.
Actually, there you go, anyway. But the kind of thing that people who are better or happy to be in melee, then there'd be a suggestion of nonchalantly strolling towards where the at least the lieutenants are, if not the Dread Knight, depending upon how good you feel you feel you are.
Well, the lieutenants and Dread Knight are undead, aren't they?
They are undead, yes.
And I'm a cleric. I'm probably making my way towards that direction.
Okay, well, one thing Hilderan does notice is that the box that the elderly halfling is carrying seems to be a ley line node.
Ah.
You've never seen a portable ley line before.
Awesome. I'm interested, but I'm also watching everything.
So certainly the end result would be the fact that hopefully melee personnel are taking up position somewhere near the leaders of the undead.
The Dread Knight.
Hilderan potentially giving indications as to whether or not the undead are apparently reacting to any movements in the prime material plane.
I am watching. My other question is: the Dread Knight and the lieutenants are not communicating, are they?
They're not communicating with you or each other. They're just watching the what is happening.
Cool, because if I can see a creature's mouth while it is speaking a language I understand, I can then interpret what it's saying. Observant feat.
It is very good.
And then, okay, well, Dimitri obviously has to be the person in the middle, receiving greetings from the halflings and things like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm heading towards the Dread Knight.
Okay, so the elderly halfling puts the box down in the courtyard and touches something, and you see the sides of the box collapse, opening it up in an instant, and inside is a five-sided pyramid with what appears to be a black flame burning inside it. And in the astral space, you see the astral space just disappear. It just becomes completely empty.
So the undead, I can't see any undead or anything anymore?
You can't see any undead. You have a feeling that any undead or fiends in the couple of miles of your location have instantly disappeared.
Cool.
That's pretty neat trick.
You have heard that some of the races possess items that pretty much are anti-undead or fiends. They are unable to approach within certain distances of such items.
Sorry.
I'm assuming Hilton says that the astral space is suddenly clear.
I'm still sharing my vision, so you'll see it.
Yeah.
Would we think that that has destroyed the undead or just pushed them away?
Push them away. It's not a weapon, it is basically a part of the device's protections.
Yeah. Like a defensive barrier without necessarily offensive.
And it's why there's very little undead in the halfling lands. Okay, so while he's doing this, he does ask if someone's able to provide him with any burnt wood.
Genrick?
Yeah, I have plenty of burnable substances.
He wants stuff that has already been burnt.
I can go burn some wood.
Surely there'd be burnt wood in the kitchens or in the fires.
He's basically asking if someone could get it for him.
Yeah, I'll go
you
get
get
it.
hold of some charcoal.
And you see the nature of
Dimitri likes to suggest to go to or get Aurelius to get one of his men to grab a burnt stick or pick of charcoal.
Okay, so he does demonstrate how his relic will help you because it will restore that which was damaged. So anything put into the black flame, instead of burning, actually restores itself.
Oh, okay. So the reason you wanted the burnt stick was to demonstrate the stick comes out unburnt. Is that what you meant?
And the idea is, if you bring the people and lay them over the burnt remains, he can send it through, also removing any disease or affliction they have at the same time. It's like a ceremonial burning of the dead, but it's a reverse.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident the answer's no, but is there anything stopping the also pretty confident the answer's yes, but anything stopping setting up the flame down in the infirmary rather than having to bring the people out here?
Yes, if he moves it, undead will be able to come back.
I was quite expecting it. Well, no, it's got to be under moonlight.
While it's anchored in this place and with the moon above, it's at its strongest.
Yep.
Otherwise, it will only do small amounts of healing at a time.
Well, in that case, if we've got to get the people out here, then
He also recommends no one try teleportation or face stepping within the area of effect because they will find it blocked.
Okay. Make you said he wasn't planning on doing any teleport to get people up here. He's got staff to do that.
Well, none of your portable holes or bags of holding will also work in the area of effect.
All good. Okay, so you'll pass on to the message to Aurelius, the telepathic bond, to say that it would appear that the immediate threat of ambush is greatly diminished. It'll be worth assigning about at least 20 or so of your people to start transporting the afflicted out here to take them through the flame.
Could we ask what the radius of the barrier the black flame sets up is?
He says 8 mile. This one has set up an 8-mile barrier. They had put some work into enhancing it before coming.
Is that a mile or 8 mile?
8 mile.
8 mile. So it covers this entire hex and some of the hexes around it.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Well, I guess we get started.
I might head up to the walls and try to keep an eye out and do some watching while my See the Unseen is up to see if anything approaches.
Okay.
Make me likewise will supervise.
Yes, it seems that every time a person is passed through the black flame, they seem to come out of it almost their better selves. Hair looks shinier, skin looks healthier, they look a little more youthful.
I was going to say, so they're fully recovered, and I'm assuming after within only a minute or so, like a few minutes, they can be also helping to get more people up.
It takes less than a round, 1 to 5 rounds for someone to be brought back to awareness.
Yeah, well, so I figured plus a bit of time to explain to them what's happened, what's happening now, and get to work.
And with all the assistance, it's about an hour in total until the entire keep is recovered. And from the ability to see and perceive how everything's going, you're basically seeing the infection basically rise out of their bodies and burn away, as if the infection was a possession.
Mm-hmm. But it then certainly aligned with Zerchev's understanding that the Ashen King's army was within the keep, if they were effectively possessed.
When the last one is done and you can't actually sense any more infection in the region, he does start to close up the box.
Dimitri's just having a thought. I wonder what if I go through if I wasn't infected. Okay, even better than I am.
I was thinking the same.
Does anyone try to move through the black flame themselves?
And Genrick will ask permission before doing so.
Okay, Genrick is given permission to walk through, though he only says you should only do it once.
Genrick will walk through once.
Okay, by the time you've walked through, any spells you prepared are gone.
Yay! I didn't. I don't need spells.
But you don't seem to have any of scars that you've gained throughout your life are all gone. It normally takes a regeneration spell to remove any form of scarring. Most healing leaves a scar, especially magical healing.
Mm.
So you're quite surprised at just how youthful and healthy you feel. Any long-term injury or wound you've had seems to be gone.
Quick, Crowlin, go through. You can go back to being a halfling.
That'd be interesting to see what happens.
I will ask them what happens if somebody walks through more than once.
If you have just received the effect of it, it may remove you from existence.
Ah. Dimitri, you should walk through.
Well, Dimitri was tempted until they said you can only go through once because of the fact, like he was treating that as once in your lifetime on the idea that you might need it, you might actually need it at some point. Whereas right now, yeah, it'd be nice to get rid of the scarring on the left side of his face, but he'd rather save up the potential and working on the idea that, well, hey, obviously we've gained some goodwill with the halflings out of this.
And it does extend your life by a small amount.
But a small amount for an elf or a small amount for a human?
A small amount for whatever you
A
are.
percentage, I'm guessing.
Percentage, yes.
Ah.
Which for an elf could be most people's lifetimes. And he asked if anyone else wished to experience the black flame before he closes it, because once it closes, it will also become vulnerable again.
Nope, I am scanning the horizon, being on watch, doing my anxious, hyper vigilant thing.
Before we close the black flame, can they raise the relic into the ship?
No, because the relic is at risk from the air movement itself.
But I'm thinking about that. Can they get the relic ready to transport? I load it onto the ship while the black flame is still open.
No, the prow of the ship, not the black flame.
The prow, they can load the prow, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The back. Yeah,
they would have been loading the prow while you were busily getting the.
Happy with that, yeah. Because obviously the sort of thing that if the attack comes as soon as the black flame or shortly after the black flame is closed, then obviously we want the prow relic to be on its way potentially before the attack happens. So before clouds come over to the moonlight. Mm-hmm. In which case then, again, before the black flame closes, we will ensure that the keep is on full alert. They are going to be fully manned, so fully staffed.
If telepathic bond is an hour, my see the unseen and our telepathic bond is gone.
Yep, and okay, I can reactivate the telepathic bond before we close the flame. I don't know whether you can reactivate between the unseen, but
no, it's a one-off between rests.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess before they pack it up, the funds flip the coin in his mind and then just walk through as well.
Okay, so
what's life without a bit of fun?
Okay, as you go to step into the black flame, you feel a warning from your patron.
Oh. I was wondering if something would happen with that.
Entering the black flame will permanently sever you from your patron.
Oh no.
I.e.,
Ah.
make you a better man.
Fine, I won't.
It will undo the pact.
I'm not very useful without it, so I'll back down.
Okay, so he does close it up after seeing your hesitation. And as it clicks shut and you do sort of feel a change in the air around you, the case that the relic was in shimmers and disappears.
The Black Flame relic or the prow of the ship?
The prow of the ship box. They had already taken the prow out. They weren't taking the box with them.
But when they close the black flame, the box, the 30-foot long crate disappears as well, does it?
It does, yes.
Well, obviously, Bargle's aware that the ice has been removed or collected. And how fast do we think the Dread Knights can travel?
Anything
I
in
would
the
assume
astral
fast.
plane can pretty much, if they're skilled, reach anywhere in moments.
But if they were expelled from the astral plane?
If they were expelled from the astral plane, they'd have to re-enter the astral plane or travel overland. And if he was traveling overland...
And that's what I'm talking about, is the idea of how fast can they travel overland, noting that they may have been pushed back, 8 miles. So
he would probably be many hours away from here, or if he's really fast, an hour.
Yeah, but certainly his troops wouldn't necessarily be as fast as him. So if they have to travel physically, then we can expect the attack is still a couple hours away. But if they can still travel astrally easily enough, then we expect the attack momentarily. So
would we be able to ask the halflings? Not that I'm down, I'm on the wall, but if we've got telepathic bond, I'd be saying, can we ask the halflings if they think it expelled it from the astral plane into the material plane, or just pushed them back in the astral plane?
They would have expected to have just pushed them back. They don't have the power to separate them from where they are.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
And they rarely move the black flame twice in a day. So this is a rare event. They would have expected it to have been active until the next moon.
Cool. Okay, well, I am hyper-vigilant.
I suppose it's possible too late now to close it up, but haven't thought of, did they need to close it up? Can it stay open all night?
It can stay open all night, but their ship will not be able to stay.
Okay. Because I was just thinking as well, hey, if the halflings are happy to hang around for the night, then the undead are going to be slightly less disconcerting in the morning, but if they've got to go, they've got to go.
Okay, there is a...
Thank them for their service, and our transaction is complete, but hopefully the 5 Shires will be able to provide even more support towards Garrick in the future now with the return of their relic.
And there is a flash of light where the box disappeared and a smaller box appears.
Where the 30-foot crate disappeared, you mean? Or
yeah, where the 30-foot crate disappeared, a smaller box appears.
And how big's the smaller box?
It is about probably about 3 to 4 feet in width, height, and length.
Okay. Take a look at it. What does it look like?
A standard wooden crate.
And is it ticking?
You'll have to get close to find that out.
Sorry?
You'll have to get close to find that out.
Well, I'm assuming that if it came in the same spot of the box, then Dimitri would be in the vicinity of it, just presumably the middle of the courtyard type stuff. But yes, he's happy to be going up and having a closer look. He'll stay about 5-10 feet away initially to have a look all the way around and see if he can work out where it came from, if it's got nice black eagle, any markings on it again, or...
It has a note tacked to it.
I prepared explosive wounds to that.
It has Dimitri Dimitros written on it.
Yeah. So well, again, you'll take a circumstantial loop around again just to confirm, but if it's not picking no obvious immediate traps, he'll then go a bit closer. Well, in fact, actually, he'll use Mage Hand and grab the note from the box, staying about 10 feet away. So,
okay.
did he grab the note with Mage Hand?
He manages to
Or did he
grab
come with a
the note.
magical note?
The note.
Sorry?
The note does float back to your hand.
Yep.
You have managed to grab it.
Yep. Okay. I will. Is that an envelope, or just folded, or sealed, or anything in any way?
It is folded.
Yep.
Opening it up,
take
it
a look
is a thank you note to Dimitri from Bargle for your services rendered. You have been a great assistance in his cause.
Not
Marvellous.
at all.
Okay. Well, and presumably there's more to the thank you than that. Take more than 25 words. Why put it ascending?
And it also ends with that here is a payment for the services you have rendered.
Marvellous. Does the box appear to have any lock or seal, or can it be opened with a bit of a push, like a mage hand lifting at the lid or anything like that?
It looked like it has been nailed shut. We need a
Marvellous.
crowbar.
Yep. Or a forceful hand will clutch the box. Don't know. Okay. The Dimitri will go up, have a closer look, confirm that there's nothing would look like happening immediately if he touched it. He will then touch it, go for identify, make certain some magical effects upon it. And
is Dimitri telling us over the telepathic bond that this is happening, or am I not aware of it?
Well, you're presumably watching it if you wanted to.
And
like
I'm
there's
sure
nothing on the walls.
If you've got
Well, I'm
telepathic
actually
bond,
focusing outside.
If you have a telepathic bond with Dimitri, I'm sure he's giving you a running commentary of everything he's thinking and doing.
Okay. I'm just wondering if I should come down and cast Beacon of Hope.
Would you actually be paying attention after all this time of pushing him off to the side?
Well, it depends. If it feels like his normal prattle, no. If it seems directed at me, then probably yes.
It wouldn't be directed at you specifically. It'll just be the general education of all those around him.
So I'm not paying attention. I'm watching out the walls. I am no real idea what's going on down there because I'm assuming that the others have it, and I'm watching out for attack.
Fair enough.
And you do see the
1831 on perception for looking for mechanical traps and things like that on there, and obviously check if there's any magical stuff. Okay.
And while you're doing that, you see the halfling master get onto the lift to start being lifted up back onto his skyship.
Marvellous.
I'm sure there's absolutely no danger whatsoever.
Well, okay. Dimitri's happy to let them get underway before he actually tries to open the box, assuming he hasn't found any other traps or indications on it. So.
There does not seem to be any indication of traps, but you do sense the presence of magic within.
Identify what the magic is?
You
Actually,
cannot,
like the identify spell.
it's not easy to tell because you are not touching the magic. It is inside the box.
Okay, yeah. So it's not the box itself; it's something inside the box.
Something
Happy with
inside the box, yes.
that. In which case, then we'll open up the box. Call for a crowbar if I need one, and let the others know that we might be all good. But as he's about to wrench on the crowbar, okay, or the thing might be about to explode.
Don't say that.
Do I hear the word explode?
Sorry?
Do I hear the word explode?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Dimitri's talking about the fact that, yep, it looks like it's all okay, but if it's about to explode, it'll happen now.
I've definitely.
I feel like that
taken
would
a
have
few
caught my
steps
attention.
back. Yeah, I'm taking steps back.
Yeah, I think that would have drawn my attention back inside rather than outside.
Yep. So, as you're looking at it, you miss the halfling ship streak away, and then there is a crack as the lid comes off, and it seems to be full of packing material.
Marvelous.
Magical packing material?
Well, whatever's in there was deemed valuable enough to be packed so it wouldn't be damaged.
Yeah.
Dimitri, do you want to wait?
You said about 5 foot cube?
About a more like a 2 to 3 foot cube.
Dimitri, do you want to wait 2 seconds so I can come down and do some protection stuff?
It'll be fine.
Okay, Hildren is running down, casting, running down, and as soon as she gets within, I think it's 30 feet, casting Beacon of Hope.
What will Beacon of Hope grant?
Advantage on Wisdom saves, and max healing.
But that's okay, because Dimitri's actually not removing the packing material, at least not initially. He's going to actually use the crowbar and pry open the sides of the crate as well.
Yep.
So basically aiming to drop the sides without having to touch move anything on the inside. So
Yeah.
So that'll take a few minutes, so you've probably got time to get your spell run down and get your protection off.
Beacon of Hope, I can give advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws to creatures within 30 feet, and it also gives any healing that is done automatically goes max healing.
Right.
It's a nifty little spell.
So then once he's got the 4 sides of the box flat on the ground as well, and both the stuffing packing material, does it fall out around and make any obvious thing inside, or does that have to be removed?
There will be a number of items on the ground, and the characters will be able to tell me of a rare item they would like to have for their characters.
There you go. You say. Michael keeps his end of the deal. Why did anyone have any doubt?
Well, there was no deal for you guys, so you actually ended up with a reward from Bargle. Just I'm sure the person that they belonged to no longer needs it. So you can.
It means that yes.
You can
remember whatever the value of the item is that we end up getting. obviously, we provided Bargle with a greater service than that.
And let me know between now and the next session what item you'd like your character to gain. And if any really messed up history you'd like the item to have as well.
Nice.
Any sort of
rare
item?
item, huh?
So weapon, like limitations on the type of item?
It has to be rare. That's the limitation.
Cool.
And if it's bigger than the box, then you'll have whatever it is appear, taking up all that space in the courtyard.
Okay, so it's not limited. It's not limited in size. The box was also an extra dimensional space. When the sides fell down, the extra dimensional space got kicked out.
Which is why I'm not describing the items until next session, so you can actually get them then. And
Marvelous.
even those who aren't here will also get an item.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Okay. So I will be finishing it up there for today, guys.
Yep.
And so you actually did manage to plan out well enough that there was no chance for the Bargle to attack you otherwise. Basically,
With the providing the information for the halfling to give them the warning, so they were set up there. Anti-actual. So,
you had everything
and
in
the fact
place
that
to stop him.
Gilgurn actually had the opportunity to make the effort to spot them first.
If you had
Sweet.
waited until after they arrived, then things would have turned out differently.
Cool.
So we're about to have a long rest.
You will be having a long rest, and you'll have new items.
Are we actually? Is this actually a end of season type effect at the moment?
Not yet. There will be still more work to go.
After that,
As
right,
you're only partway through the
coming up to
game
the end
yet.
of the year. I've got to double check the word actually also end of season.
You still have at least 4 months of the season to go.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll put it on end credits unless you want to add anything else for the recording.
I'm good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I'm fine.
Okay.
Gregory is dead.
No.
But I'm sure you have I'm sure you have Gregory Jerky to help you sustain yourself.
Yes.
Named Jerky.
You didn't put him through the plane?
Gregory was one of the first rats to get stabbed by the chef.
Yeah. And here was where I think people are worried about Dimitri's friends. You know, I hope you're not actually using an animal friendship type spell, because that specifically doesn't allow that kind of
No, I have.
kill.
It's one of my feats. I can. Vermin are just automatically friendly towards me, and I can speak with them.
Hey, come join us for dinner, my friends.
It's a let's eat grandma type thing.
Okay, so I'll chat to you after I close it off.